Mark McGwire sent everyone through the drive-through as he shot one into Big Mac land for the first time in 1998, number 21. In the 8th inning, an insurance home run from Ray Langford. The Cards would have to cash in that policy as they were tied in the 9th. And in the 12th, through a drawn-in infield, Ron Gant became the hero. David Howard and the Cardinals celebrated a victory over the Giants. The Cardinals will try for 2 in a row on this 6-game homestand. The rain is cleared, and we are about 15 minutes away from the first pitch of tonight's game. Aybar and Darwin, the Cardinals and Giants on Fox Sports Midwest. Fox Sports Midwest presents Cardinals baseball, brought to you by Budweiser. Brew Refresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Southwestern Bell, go wireless with someone you know. By Pizza Hut, home of the new Sicilian pizza. Can you handle it? By your local Dodge dealer, exclusive automotive dealer of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. And by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest, the official airline of the Cardinals. After the work last night from Kent Merker, the Cards hope for more from tonight's starter, Manny Aybar. A big one for the young right-hander next.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium. Well, Gary Gaetti, I see you have 2 eyes, you know, and they're both open, but yet one's not working.
You know, we can't tell what's going on with this one right now. You know, it's getting better every day, but I felt like I'd be able to see better than I can right now. And the depth perception out here in, you know, open spaces out here is not real good. So, I mean, I thought I was going to take batting practice and take some grounders today. I don't think it's a good idea. So, I think it's just a matter of the drops that they put in my eye to dilate my pupil so they could look at it real good. That just has to wear off. And they said, you know, 3 to 5 days or something like that. I'm hoping tomorrow it's going to be a lot different.
Now, you got to tell me, you're serious that a guy like you, who's been around for so long, is worried about not being able to see out of your dominant eye with a 90-mile-an-hour moving fastball coming at you?
I wasn't real concerned about that. I just thought I'd be able to see better than I can right now. But, yeah, you know, depth perception, that's just one part of the many parts of the game, probably the most important part. So, yeah, that is a concern.
And I would imagine when the injury first happened, it was the fear or you were just scared because you didn't know what was happening.
Well, yeah, it didn't hurt quite as much as I was real concerned about what I couldn't see. I felt like I had a shield over the bottom part of my eye. It's hard to describe, but I had blindness down. If I were to look straight ahead, I couldn't see the ground out of my left eye. So that concerned me more than anything, more than, you know, the cut or whatever. So, and your mind can do some strange things on you. You know, I mean, you think about Kirby Puckett, you think about, you know, the end of your career. You think about a lot of those things like that when a real sensitive part of your body gets hit.
How about this ball club is just starting to come together? I know we still haven't seen the offense and the pitching matchup, but that will happen. You know, I don't know. You know, we're trying hard. I know that, and we've had some pretty good games here at home. It'd be nice to stay here for a long, long time and play. Just, you know, in comparison to how we play at home and on the road. But I think everybody's feeling pretty good about it. You know, I got to watch the game on TV last night, and it was real exciting. You know, right up to the end, and I think everything's going to be all right, though. You know, everybody gets healthy. You know, and we start, you know, getting it together on the mound and play a lot of home games. We're going to be all right. All right, Gary, you get yourself well. Stay tuned. We'll have more pregame activities right here at Busch Stadium. Stay with us.
Tonight's starter, Manny Aybar, getting ready for what is a very important start for the young right-hander as he takes on the San Francisco Giants here tonight. And welcome to the ballpark, everybody. Joe Buck along with Al Raboski. Al, you've already put in a half hour's worth of work, man. Are you tired? Are you going to be all right?
Oh, I worked outside all day, but I'm ready for a victory. You know, the old guy can get it going.
He can still crank it up for a victory.
The only thing that scares me, though, if I can get it going as an old guy, what about Danny Darwin?
Well, Danny Darwin is a part of the story that we'll talk about in just a moment, but I think we should start off with Manny Aybar. You know, as things are trying to turn around for the Cardinals. Got a great start from Petkaiser during the last homestand. Okay in Philadelphia. A good one from Busby, followed by a good one by Kent Merker last night. You know you're going to get something from Stottlemyre every time out. Now you got to have Manny Aybar fall in line, and that's what it's going to take for the Cardinals to turn this thing around.
And Joe, we all know he's capable of it. An exceptional young arm. Really does have to learn, though, that you can't just throw fastballs and pump them over the middle of the plate, no matter how hard you throw. He's going to have to incorporate his slider and his changeup, get something a little softer to keep guys off balance, change the tilt or the plane of pitches coming to the plate.
You know, people, I think, ask me, I'm sure as much as they ask you, you do a daily radio show, about the Cardinals and whether they're going to make a trade. I have hoped for a long time that they would, but I still don't think there's anything imminent. I don't see anything in the next few days. So if that's the case, we're going to have guys like Aybar and Busby against Colorado while they're in here. Guys step up and do the job for Tony La Russa. He's very concerned. I think everybody should be, because here we've got a team that's a $50 million payroll team. They've got a lot of talent. They're in a division that they can win, and it's just going to take these guys to step up. And I kind of look at Manny Aybar as one of the keys to this thing, because believe me, Matt Morris, Alan Bennis, they're nowhere close to being ready.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if you were asking someone without talent to do this, it would be one thing. But you got guys in this that you're just asking to step up maybe a little quicker in their progress. So I think these guys are capable. I'm very disappointed that Manny Aybar has not pitched better. And remember, he did go down to AAA and was dominant down there. ERA under 2, winning a couple ball games. So he has the ability. Now it's just time to do it right here.
Tonight's starting time is quarter past the hour of 7 o'clock, so we're not that far away. The rain is holding off, and it's a pleasant night here at the ballpark. When we come back, we'll talk about Aybar and Darwin, the pitching matchup here tonight. Baker, Renee Latchman handing in the lineup cards as we get ready for tonight's game. Dusty Baker, last year's National League Manager of the Year, and no doubt, Al Raboski, he is one of the best. He seems to have the ability to get some superstars to play and play hard, and I don't think just anybody could manage Barry Bonds.
Well, I agree with you 100%. Remember, he was a very good player in his own right, so that kind of dispels the myth that an outstanding player can't manage. You got to have somebody that's was a guy that rode the bench all the times. But he's a good handler of men, and I think what he does is he just is honest with his players.
Yeah, he's very honest, and he gets these guys playing hard, and I don't think there's a manager in baseball that gets more out of what he has than Dusty Baker. They don't have the best talent. Last year they didn't. They won the National League West. They seem to play well, play hard, and they've got a lot of pieces that fit nicely together.
You know what he does, Joe, and this is kind of a throwback, is he stresses fundamentals. You know, at a time now where you have so many egos and you let guys do whatever they want to do, that's not with Dusty's program. He stresses fundamentals and he stresses defense, and defense will win you ball games.
This is a very good defensive club, the Giants. We'll take a look at our matchup for tonight's game, as we do on every game for Fox Sports Midwest. Our Dodge matchup, Bill Miller, who hit the game-tying home run in the ninth inning last night. What has he done the last 10 days? Hitting over 400. How about McGwire? In the last 10 days, he's hit 7 home runs, driven in 11. And the story and myth, Al, they just continue to grow.
It really does. And Billy Miller did hit that pinch hit home run last night on an off day, and then later on got his second hit of the ball game. This kid is, you really have to be happy from him. For DeSmet High School, an overachiever, and a kid that was rewarded by the Giants with a 3-year contract last fall. And to Dusty Baker saying, I love him, because not only has he gotten that 3-year contract, now he's come out and has worked even harder to show people he deserves it.
He's one guy who doesn't seem at all bothered by playing in front of the home crowd every time he comes here to Busch Stadium. He seems to do something to help the Giants win. And then there's that guy who last night rode one into Big Mac land, and that is our Dodge matchup here tonight. So we're glad you're with us on Fox Sports Midwest as the Cardinals try to get it going and keep it rolling. They are 4.5 games out of first place behind Houston, and again tonight Houston takes on San Diego at the Astrodome. We need those Astros to stumble a little bit, and they're playing these days without Jeff Bagwell.
Well, but you know, it's just the old adage, if you win your own ball game, things take care of themselves. You know, a couple weeks ago we were really worried about Milwaukee, and you look at the standings today, we've leapfrogged over Milwaukee. So you win your ball game, and the other formula will take care of itself.
Milwaukee's already lost this afternoon. They lost again up at Chase Stadium to the Mets. And last night, the Cardinals gained a game on every team in the Central Division. It was a big win last night in 12 innings. What do we have in store for us here tonight? We're about to find out as Manny Aybar leads the Cardinals to the field, and we look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Dusty Baker's Giants. They lead it off with Darryl Hamilton in center field. Bill Miller, who we've already talked about, batting second and third base. Barry Bonds, you know the story with Barry. He's hitting third and left. Jeff Kent had 29 home runs a year ago. He's also striking out a lot this season, 50 already. He cleans up. Then it's Stan Javier in right. J.T. Snow, who is really struggling at first base. Rich Eerily is the shortstop. Brent Maine is the catcher. And Danny Darwin pitching and batting ninth. Darwin is one of the older gentlemen in the game of baseball today. And here's one of the younger guys, Manny Aybar. He's on the mound for Tony La Russa.
Well, 42-year-old Danny Darwin, 23-year-old Manny Aybar, and Manny trying to turn things around. You look at that very high ERA, and it's legitimate, but it's all the hits that he's allowed. 43 hits in 25-plus innings, and look at the walks to strikeout ratio. Not good, but Manny Aybar in the rotation, you have an opportunity to turn those things around, and we all know he is blessed with an arm that he is capable of doing so. Let's start tonight.
How about a look at the defense behind Manny Aybar with Gant, Langford, and Jordan in the outfield. Mabry is at third. He already heard from Gary Gaetti tonight. He hopes to feel much better tomorrow. The Cardinals hope he does, as they will face a left-hander, but I think the jury's still out as to whether Gaetti will even be ready to play tomorrow night. And a typical infield behind Aybar with Lampkin catching tonight. And we give you a look at the umpires working home plate tonight. Paul Schreiber, he'll call the balls and strikes. Eddie Montague at first. Dana DeMuth is at second. Charlie Relaford worked that long night last night behind the plate. He's over at third. A little delay here at the start. 7:17 on the scoreboard clock. About 7 minutes late, and we're glad you're with us. 30% chance of intermittent showers as we go along here tonight. So we'll see how we do weather-wise, and Manny Aybar tries to tackle Darryl Hamilton to start the night. He deals a strike over the outside corner. Aybar's last outing not too good. It was Monday, the day game here to the Marlins, and he could not get through 4. Missed inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Manny Aybar, of course, not a big guy, but he's got an above-average fastball. Get it up around the 90-mile-an-hour mark, and that's into right for a base hit for Hamilton. So here come the Giants. Darryl Hamilton is on. He adds to his .283 average, and that's the way we start the first inning. Manny Aybar gives up a leadoff hit.
Well, not exactly where you want to start things, but you would rather have someone hit their way on rather than giving a free pass. And Manny just has to contain Hamilton, who's not really, you know, he stole 6 bases, but in 11 attempts. And now you better work on the guy at the plate.
That's Billy Miller. He takes a ball up and away. Miller is hitting .365. That average is good for 3rd in the National League. He hit the game-tying home run last night, and as Al mentioned, he got a base hit later on, so he had 2 hits late for not appearing in the game until the 9th inning. The 1-0 pitch with 1 on, nobody out from Aybar. 1 ball, 1 strike. What about the story with Aybar in this changeup? Something that he worked on at AAA Memphis.
And I ran into Johnny Lewis, Cardinals roving hitting instructor, the other day going to Philadelphia, and he said that he was in Memphis. He threw the ball extremely well, changed speeds. It's just a question, can he do that coming here? And a lot of it is just that you don't believe in that pitch yet. You want to throw fastballs. You know, it's the psychology of saying, I got a good fastball. Why do I want to throw something soft? Well, the thing is that these are the best hitters in the world, and they're eventually going to time it.
2 balls and a strike on Miller. 1 on, nobody out, with Bonds on deck, and then Kent. Very solid lineup for Dusty Baker. 3-1.
And see, Joe, that's what happens also when you get to a point you're trying to throw a couple pitches. You're not going to have the command of those pitches, And it's a kiss of death when you're pitching behind in the count, and then when you're trying to change speeds behind the count. You can see why you lead to an awful lot of walks or just laying the ball right over the middle of the plate.
Check on Hamilton. Doesn't do a ton of running. 6 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. And Miller up on the count 3-1. He'll try to add to his .365 average. 3-1 pitch. First 2 are on. So a hit, a walk, and now it gets tougher with Bonds, Kent, and Javier coming up.
Tom Lampert going to come right out, get on him, say, come on, go right after guys. Remember Ray Miller when he was pitching coach of the Pirates, and they were auditioning so many young pitchers, and he said, you know, I've got, the organization keeps on sending me young pitchers, and they say, hey, turn this guy into a major leaguer, make him, teach him a breaking ball. But in Miller's case, he said, how can I teach someone a breaking ball until they have one pitch that they can throw consistently over the plate for strikes? I don't care if it's a fastball or anything.
Well, Aybar couldn't throw strikes to Miller. Now it's 2 on, nobody out for one of the game's best, Barry Bonds. And a good fastball over the outside corner for strike 1.
Good location on that pitch down the way, but you also get into a situation when you're trying to throw strikes, you forget about hitting your spots, and yet you can't just go out there and aim the ball either.
Bonds could put the Giants out in front here in the first inning. That's a big out. Pop up into right for Jordan, and the runners will have to stay put. 1 away, and Manny Aybar comes back to get one of the tougher outs in the game. Bonds is gone. A hit, a walk, a fly ball, a shallow right off the bat of Bonds.
Oh, you're talking about a guy that sometimes could be difficult to manage. Now, is this what you want your player to hustle down the line? Some managers, you know, will talk to him and say, hey, I want a little better effort than that. Other guys will just say, well, you know, an out's an out.
2 on, 1 out for Jeff Kent. We showed you the strikeouts. He's up to 50. His average at 280. He's hit 4 home runs this season. 2 on, 1 out. You can get him, obviously, on the double play.
But don't take him for granted.
No. That's over the inside corner for strike 1.
Well, hopefully the out to Bonds will give Manny a little confidence, and throwing that first pitch strike will also help also. And 1, 2, 3. Wonder that's 1, 2, 3. Go right after him. Get him out.
The 0-1 pitch to Kent. That's backing out of play for strike 2. And now if you're Jeff Kent, you've struck out 50 times, and it's May 23rd. You're probably thinking, uh-oh, here I am 0-2, like I have been quite a bit. I need to avoid the strikeout.
Wait a minute. He struck out 50 times, Joe? I was listening to someone that was criticizing the broadcasters because we never talk about McGwire's 47 strikeouts. There's too many things to talk about with McGwire to talk about a negative.
You know what kind of person that is that called in to talk about that. That's into right center field. Jordan back on the move and can't make the catch. 1 run will score, likely 2 will score. Kent will end up at third base, and it's 2-0 Giants in the first. Jordan got back there, couldn't make the catch, and now he's doubled over and in some pain.
He hit that wall very hard, Joe, and it looked like, and he really had a legitimate shot and beat on the ball. Look at the concentration, but he's going to hit right around that post. See that right hip, and jarring action. Hamilton, he's going to play it safe halfway, make sure the ball gets down. Thought he caught it there for a second, but once the ball hit the ground, he easily scored. So did Miller on the triple. And Brian, you know, he doesn't shy away from any wall, and he hit that one pretty hard.
Well, a mistake for Manny Aybar on 0-2, and the Giants take a first inning lead. I think you're right. It's probably something with the lower half of his body as his right knee or hip banged into that padding out in right field. Cardinals are obviously short on their bench because of the injury, the eye injury to Gaetti. And Jordan is trying to stay in this game and will.
And watch too, you know, you have that padding out there, but it's close to a seam. The seam right there where you said could have been the left knee or the right hip or anything, but you know, that's a jarring effect. He's had a few of those in football, but he didn't come out here expecting that one today.
So it's 2-0 Giants, 2 runs on 2 hits. Jeff Kent does the damage with a 2-run triple. And here's Stan Javier. One thing the Cardinals had been avoiding the last few days was falling in that first or second inning hole. Well, that's gone now, and Aybar's had a long first inning already. A single, a walk. He got Bonds, but on 0-2, he made a mistake to Kent.
Don't you think? I thought that ball traveled extremely well out there.
I agree. Javier with the infield in takes a ball. Stan Javier, the numbers with runners in scoring position. Any one of a number of things would add to the Giants' first inning lead. Not even close. 2-0.
And this is where Manny really needs the strikeout or a pop-up.
And he does not do himself a favor by falling behind 2-0. Kent, the runner at third with 1 out, 2 balls, no strikes on Stan Javier. 3-0.
Paul Schreiber is not going to have a strike zone that's going to be very favorable to Manny Aybar. See that right now, and quite frankly, he doesn't deserve one.
3-0 on Javier. Well, they turn him loose. Runner at third, 1 out. 3-1. Javier drove in the first run of the game last night with an infield ground out. Played for years for Tony La Russa in Oakland. Across the bay, and now he's in San Francisco, and he's made a nice career out there.
I remember when he was a Cardinal farmhand. Way back when.
Runner at third, 1 out. 3-1 to Javier from Aybar. Full count. Hamilton led off with a base hit, and then the walk to Miller after Bonds was taken care of. A 2-run triple by Kent, and now the 3-2 to Javier. Runner at third, 1 out. Just missing. Ball 4, and it's first and third, 1 out. Second walk of the inning, and trouble continues for Manny Aybar. Cardinals, as we mentioned, got a great start last night from Kent Mercker, who pitched into the 9th inning. And he avoided long innings such as these. The Giants have 2 on, 1 out, and have J.T. Snow at the plate, who is hitting 182.
Now J.T. really going through some tough times with his mother, and saw Dad Jack here at the ballpark. Said, Mom feeling better the last couple days with JT in town and living at the house, but tough enough to play this game when everything is on an even keel, or everything's going right for you on and off the field. He's a quality guy. He still hasn't let it affect his defense. He's still a Gold Glove first baseman, and he'll just battle through it.
He's hit the 1 home run. It came while batting left-handed. First and third, 1 out. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count from Aybar. Manny Aybar just doesn't look like he has the confidence in his stuff to go right after hitters. He's trying to make the perfect pitch, and In doing that, he's missing and falling behind.
Yeah, and it's very, very surprising and disappointing because obviously that's not the approach he made at Memphis. He was very confident, went and attacked hitters.
2-1 on Snow.
You know, the velocity is up, but his pitches are up out over the middle of the plate, not making very many quality pitches. And we've seen him pitch too well in the past, and we know he's got a good arm that's healthy for these kind of results. It's just concentration.
2 balls and a strike on Snow. 23rd pitch of the first inning coming here from Aybar. That is a perfect pitch. Snow didn't think so, and the count 2-2. Runners at first and third for JT. 1 out and a 2-2 count. Good production from Snow. He's driven in 17. The runner at third and less than 2 out. Here's another chance for JT, and he took ball 3. 3-2 with a right-handed hitting Rich Eerily on deck. Danny Darwin, the right-handed starter for the Giants, already has a 2-run cushion before he steps out onto the field. Snow would like to add to it.
Darwin's 4-2 on the year and 3-0. Got a 3-game winning streak going.
3-2 pitch. Runner at first goes, and a shot into center will get a run home. Langford back to make the catch. Tagging and scoring is Kent, and it's 3-0 Giants here in the first inning. So JT drives in his 18th of the season. He gets the sac fly. And with a runner at first 2 out, the batter will be Eerily.
A lot of pitches have been up, and he was riveted on that ball, watching the point of contact. You throw pitches that are up, and that's a pretty easy way to get a sacrifice fly, and that's what JT did.
Now Eerily, 1 on, 2 out. The numbers for Rich. He's kind of taken over that shortstop position for Dusty Baker. They also have Ray Sanchez. And the two of them have combined to put together a great start to the season at that shortstop position for Dusty Baker.
Yeah, Sanchez batting .381 and really a .313, but he's been shortstop in 31 of the last 48 games.
1 on, 2 out. Eerily took ball 1. In the error department, Eerily has played in 34 games. He hasn't committed an error, and Sanchez has committed only 2. So 2 errors between them. In case you're wondering, Royce Clayton has committed 9 errors. Runner at first, 2 out, 1-0 the count on Eerily. Runner Javier goes, and a pop-up should end the inning. Who wants it? The Shield stalks it, has trouble with it, but makes the catch, and the inning is over. But a 3-run first inning for the Giants. Cardinals come to bat, bottom of the first, down by 3. Big crowd here at Busch Stadium tonight. Cardinals trying to make it 2 in a row. They won 2 of 3 in Philadelphia, 1 here last night. And here's a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Cardinals. Ron Gant will lead off in left field. He was the hero last night with a game-winning hit. Delino bats second at second, back in the lineup. Mark McGwire hits third at first base, with Ray Langford cleaning up in center field. He homered last night, as did McGwire. With Jordan in right, Mabry is at third base. Royce Clayton is the shortstop. Batting 8th is the catcher Lampkin. Pitching is Aybar, and here's the right-hander, 42.05 years old, Danny Darwin.
All right, Danny, he's making his 9th start. Oh, and I tell you what, he's got a good ERA, and he owns a team-long 3-game winning streak. And during that winning streak, a 2.61 ERA. He's thrown 15 2/3 scoreless innings. There are the numbers on the year, and even when you look at those numbers on the year, the good ERA. He has allowed a hit an inning.
There's the defense behind him, a very good defense. They come in, the Giants do, second in the National League in team fielding percentage. A strike on Gant on a swing and a miss, and we're underway in the bottom of the first. Cardinals down by 3. Gant hitting .238, but 10 home runs. Big breaking ball and a fly ball into left. A hanger, but Gant got under it, and Barry Bonds makes the catch, one away. Folks, this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. One out. Here's DeShields. Delino's been bothered by a muscle in his side and has been on the bench the last couple of games. But he's too important to the Cardinal lineup to not have him in there 3 games in a row, and that's why. A base hit with McGwire coming up. So a couple of days off back-to-back. DeShields is healthy, and here comes McGwire. He has hit 21 home runs for the season. And on our Casino Clean leaderboard, he has hit 7 over the last 10 days to tie him with San Diego's Greg Vaughn.
And then nice to see 3 Cardinals on that list. McGwire atop, and we had Gant and Langford in the middles. And these guys have, McGwire's only had 2 lifetime hits against Danny Darwin, but both of them are home runs.
1 on, 1 out. Cardinals down by 3, first inning. Flash bulbs popping all over the ballpark on ball 1, low and away. It's like a postseason game. First pitch, you see all the people in the stands. See their flashes going off, and that's the way it is in these pitches to McGwire. At least it was in the first one. 1 on, 1 out, 1-0 the count. And a foul back here, and those flash bulbs going off again. I guess everybody's got a basement to fill. Put photographs up on the wall. Here's me in section 290 taking a picture of Mark McGwire on May 23rd. Some of these folks were here last night. Maybe stopped by McDonald's on the way down to the park. Got a free Big Mac thanks to the guy at the plate. That is one of the weirder foul balls you'll ever see. For strike 2.
I wonder if you get 2 Big Macs for that one. Hey, do you think John McCook, our good buddy John McCook, who invented the Big Mac idea, one of the McDonald's franchise holders here in the area, and came up with this idea, do you think all the other franchises in the area thought it was a pretty good idea when 47,000 plus tried to collect?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
What did you think if they didn't read the paper?
Absolutely. That's the greatest advertising
I know,
idea
and that's
in
why
the
we
history
keep
of
on
life.
saying McDonald's, just so John won't be in trouble.
A ball and 2 strikes on McGwire. Check on DeShields. Langford next.
Come on, Matt.
Looking for home run number 22. Or just a little old base hit. There's a little old base hit. 2 on, 1 out here in the first inning as that ball shot through the infield. And it's 2 on, 1 out, and Langford coming to the plate.
I thought I told you to be greedy. He asked for just a little old base hit. And here's that short stroke, very powerfully built man, but look at the extension and the rip. Got an awful lot of breaking balls there, and he got a hit.
And now with 2 on, 1 out, the tying run at the plate. Ray Langford, who shot one out of here last night, and he's hit 6 now. He's been on a tear over the last couple of weeks. His average at .312. He's driven in 26. I don't know why Darwin is slowing it down as he is, but he has come to a screeching halt. And now Brent Maine pops up, the catcher, and goes through some of the signs for the infield.
Well, part of the problem is probably with Darwin is this is his first start in 9 days. He got skipped the last time because of a travel day.
A ball low to Langford, 1-0.
Did pitch an inning in Milwaukee in relief, but when you're 42 years of age, you like to do. You're a creature of habit. 20 plus years in the big leagues, you like to pitch every 5th day. So let's jump on him early.
Yeah, although there aren't many 42-year-olds that can pitch every 5th day.
I tell you what, they got another gray beard down there that they're 5-0, you know, recently. Hershiser and Darwin.
2 on, 1 out. Darwin facing Ray Langford, the Cardinal cleanup hitter tonight. Jordan next. Two 2-0. Watch the time between pitches for Darwin. He is savoring every moment.
Well, you never know when it's going to be your last pitch in the big leagues.
This is his 692nd major league appearance here tonight. And Darwin steps off. This guy takes a long, long time between pitches. In fact, earlier this season, got into it. I don't know if there's something wrong with him or not.
Yeah, you kind of gave him that indication where he kind of acted right there that maybe something isn't quite right. Dusty and Karanowski.
It was Darwin who got into it during a game with Barry Bonds physically.
Sometimes that brings a team together.
Darwin didn't appreciate Bonds' effort on a ball hit his way and had something to say after the fact. That's ball 3. 3-0 with Jordan next. 2 on, 1 out. Cards down by 3, and they'd like to dig into that Giants lead here in the first inning.
How about that average? Maybe that's what's making him slow things down a little bit. I really don't want to throw a pitch to him.
Here's the 3-0. He walked him, and the bases are loaded for Jordan. 2 hits and a walk. And Darwin gets a visit from his middle infielders. Fox Sports Midwest is pleased to congratulate Joey Lashke of Villa Ridge, Missouri, winner of the Pizza Hut Pitch in the Big Leagues contest. Joey will throw out the first pitch of the Cardinals game on Wednesday. That's against Colorado. Good luck, Joey. Our winner tonight of the Pizza Hut Pitch in the Big Leagues contest. And Danny Darwin is the man pitching in the big leagues tonight. And he will deal with Brian Jordan with the bases loaded, 1 out. Top of this inning, Brian Jordan went after that ball hit by Jeff Kent. Nearly caught it, and then he caught a lot of the wall. Was bothered by that right knee, I believe. That's what he indicated when he came into the dugout. And here he is with the bases loaded, 1 away. And Darwin looks a little off here at the start.
You know, looking at that Jordan's approach defensively going back on that ball, you know, I think it fooled him a little bit and me that the ball carried that far. I think his approach was, you know, he's going to drift back, and then the ball kind of took off on him.
1 ball, no strikes. Darwin with the bases loaded, 1 out. And time called at the plate. We're going to see Darwin's theory of evolution evolve here right before our very eyes.
How about the Scopes trial?
You know, I know he was upset with the effort given by Barry Bonds in a ball earlier this season, but this is not the most snappily played first inning we've ever seen. That's to the left side and through. 1 run will score. They bring McGwire to the plate. Terrible throw by Bonds. Everybody is safe, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, when I saw McGwire, and there was no way he was waved home, he just put his head down and came home. I mean, I couldn't believe it. He should have been thrown out by 30, 40 feet.
Renee Latchman waved him home.
I guess he did, yeah.
And McGwire scored. You talk about a terrible throw from one of the game's better outfielders. Jordan got it through. Limped a little going around first, and now it's a 1-run game with a tying run 90 feet away. But Barry Bonds has to make a better throw than that. I mean,
oh, no kidding.
But it wasn't even close.
I mean, he makes any kind of throw. McGwire is thrown out by 20, 30 feet.
Now Mabry with runners at the corners. That's into the backstop for strike 1.
You know, we're talking about a Gold Glove outfielder there. I'm not talking about somebody that can't throw. And I mean, I think it just shocked him. He just said, I'll just throw it back in, and they challenged him. Got away with it.
Take a look at that throw. This is awful.
Look at that. I mean, he was standing, what, 25, 30 feet behind the cut out of the grass.
Mabry, a base hit to right. It's a tie game. Jordan turns on the burners, goes first to third, and it's a 3-3 game here in the first inning.
Well, Langford scores, but hey, Joe, I haven't heard too many people criticizing Mabry for lack of RBI production lately, have you?
Well, one of the reasons why is he's driven in 18 and hasn't been an everyday starter.
That's right. It's getting up there a little sinkier, drops down, but it stays in the inner half, and Mabry just turned on it, punished that ball, and we have a tie ball game, and still only one out and runners at the corners.
Ron Peranowski, former Dodger, on the field and in the dugout. Now the pitching coach with the Giants. Takes over for Dick Pohl, who was relieved of his duties over the offseason. And Darwin has not found his groove here tonight. He's blown a 3-run first inning lead and now is in danger of falling behind in a 3-3 game. First and third, one out. Clayton walking in.
And as you look at Big Mac, well, the Cardinals scored upon a pitcher who was 3-0 and had not allowed a run in 16 innings. The scoreless streak of 16 innings has come to an abrupt halt. Now let's go after the win streak.
Jordan at third, Mabry at first. 5 straight have reached after Gant flied to left to open the bottom of the first inning. Runners at the corners for Clayton, and the ball low. Darwin's going to last a long time here tonight. He may only pitch 1 inning. But off the clock, he's going to be out there for a while. We're working on a 40-minute first inning, and the Cardinals and the Cardinal fans will take every minute of it. Darwin steps off again.
Now, we did have a little rain delay.
I know. Ball 2-0. Darwin wants a new baseball. Darwin looks.
Yeah, he looks out of.
I'm not going to say he looks hurt, but he looks upset.
Like like the flu or something. Some kind of an intestinal bug or something where he just doesn't have the same mechanics and rhythm. Body is out of sync. El Nino, El Nino.
It's El Nino. First and third, one out. The 2-0 to Clayton. 2-1. Go ahead run 90 feet away. The Cardinals gave up 3. Now they've scored 3. We're in the bottom of the first of a 3-3 game, and just a stall tactic. Mabry's not going anywhere, you wouldn't think, but maybe he might take off. But not with a lead where a throw over is going to get him. Held on by Snow at first. Cardinals could get aggressive and start the runner. Not going, and Clayton drives one to center. Back is Hamilton to make the catch. Jordan tags and scores. Mabry tags and goes to second, and the Cardinals take a 4-3 lead in the first. Clayton gets his done with a sac fly to center.
Gave that ball a ride for his 15th RBI, a sac fly. Ryan Jordan, good base running. Immediately just went right back to the bag. Good wood on that. Out towards the end of the bat extension, lifts the ball. Hamilton drifting back on the ball, reaches up and makes a catch. Now Mabry was playing halfway, and then he did get back to first base and was able to tag up and get himself in scoring position.
And now Lampkin looking for the 2-out RBI hit. Even though Gant was the one who got the game winner last night. And he grabbed some headlines. Lampkin got probably the biggest hit of that inning. After Howard had singled with one out in the 12th inning, Lampkin was up on the count, and the Cardinals were aggressive, started the runner, had the hit and run on, and now Lampkin's hit into left center field made it first and third, and that set it all up.
Oh, it really did, and let's hope Tommy Lampkin's got his battery recharged. It was on empty there for a while.
Good breaking ball from Darwin. 1 ball, 1 strike. A 7-run first inning. 3 for them, 4 for the Cardinals. They're in the bottom of the 3rd at Houston behind Mark Langston. The Padres lead the Astros 1-0. Cardinals lead here 4-3. 4 runs on 4 hits. 1 walk mixed in. Lampkin took ball 2. Mabry at second with 2 down. Lampkin, a former Giant, trying to get his old teammates again, and there are a lot of guys left from when he played out there. 3-1 with Aybar, the Cardinal pitcher, on deck.
Need to get Tom swinging the bat like he did last night, Joe, and so it just makes it so much more important for that. Keep the engine running, whether you got Pagnazzi in there or Lampkin.
So they'll walk Lampkin on the intentional walk and hand it to Aybar, and at the very least the Cardinals have scored 4 to take a lead and get Aybar to the plate and out of the way here in the first inning. But there's more to Aybar than that. He's 4 out of 10 with 2 RBIs.
Well, let's hope Manny can help his own cause. I'll ask him to swing the bat just 1 time tonight, right here. And then after that, just concentrate on pitching.
Cardinals have a lead, have 2 on, 2 out. There they are. Mabry at second, Lampkin at first. And here's Manning. Ball 1 to Aybar from Darwin.
Want to hit the jackpot tonight?
Sure.
Bet that neither one of these starters are going to complete the game.
I like the chances of that. Aybar threw 27 pitches in the top of this inning. Darwin has thrown 25. 2 on, 2 out, 1-0 the count on Manny Aybar. Over the outside corner, 1-1.
13 balls, 13 strikes. Threw 163 pitches my first year, 1 start, followed up with the next start, 172.
Oh. Aybar now in the hole 1 and 2. That would be grounds for a lawsuit these days.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first year out, too.
Each pitcher has thrown 27 pitches in the first inning. So Aybar's got him beat there, too. It's going to take at least 28 to get out of this for Darwin. I'm told that's a total of 54 pitches so far thrown in the first inning. We'll verify that.
We were just letting the people in the neighborhood get here to the ballpark.
It's another big crowd. 2 on, 2 out. Aybar to the shortstop Aurelia. The force out at second, but the Cardinals, after giving up 3, come up with 4 runs on 4 hits, leave a couple. It'll be Maine, Darwin, and Hamilton coming up for the Giants. They now trail by 1. Giants got 3 in the top of the first inning. Cardinals got 4 in the bottom of the first inning. So a 1-run lead for Manny Aybar as he heads back to work. And the Cardinals hope for better luck this inning with Maine, Darwin, and Hamilton coming up for San Francisco. Guests appearing on Cardinal Baseball receive a gift certificate to Krieger's Pub and Grill, St. Louis's neighborhood bar and grill. Visit any one of their 5 locations. Omar Good, or Goody, of Greenfield, Illinois, is 97 years old today and listening.
Hey, Bret Hardick is 14. He was up here in the booth looking for you, Joe.
Here's Brent Maine leading it off in the second and taking a strike. See if Manny can put that first inning behind him, and now with the lead gets him out.
And if I got the good information right, we want to welcome Tulsa, Channel 48. to our Fox Sports Midwest. I think this is their first telecast of Cardinal baseball this evening.
Usually, everybody in Tulsa, the first inning goes a little quicker. But for the Cardinal fans in Tulsa, I know you liked every minute of it.
Well, the Reverend Terry Rush left that on my answering machine, so I wouldn't know if that'd be correct or not.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Maine, a .306 hitter with a couple of home runs.
Terry also claims to be a baseball player. He claims, and we can verify he's not.
Maine, then the pitcher, then Hamilton for the Giants. Aybar up on the count, 1-2. And Maine will stay up there at 1-2. Brent Maine has been a backup catcher pretty much throughout his career. He's done a great job for the Giants off the bench this season. Had quite a few backup catchers go through the Giants, including the Cardinals starting catcher tonight, Tom Lampkin, who calls for this pitch on 1-2. Should be the first out. Gant can find it. He's there, 1 away. Leadoff man is gone, and already a better start to this inning than the last for Manny Aybar. Cardinal fans, on Wednesday, May 27th, the Cardinals play the Rockies. That's this Wednesday coming up. It's GM Goodwrench Service Dealers Player Photo Series night here at the ballpark, where all fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive an 8x10-inch action photo of Ray Langford, compliments of GM Goodwrench Service Dealers. There are a couple of remaining dates we'll give you, but the next one coming up Wednesday, May 27th. Cards and Rockies. The others, June 19th against Arizona, July 16th against the Dodgers, and August 26th against Florida. Strike 1 on Darwin, who's 1 for 16 at the plate. And in the hole here, 0-2. Darwin on 0-2 with the bases empty and Hamilton on deck. Strikes out looking, and that's strikeout number 1 for Manny Aybar. Danny Darwin has a few parting shots for the home plate umpire as he heads off, 2 out. And Darrell Hamilton, who started a 3-run rally in the first inning with a leadoff single, walks in. Hamilton came up through the Brewers organization. Played in Milwaukee, played with Texas, now with the Giants for his second year, and he takes the ball.
Had that big season with the Texas Rangers before signing with Giants.
2 out, nobody on, and that's hard hit, but right at Royce. Nice play by Clayton. A 1-2-3 inning for Aybar. Bottom of the second, top of the order. That includes McGwire in the second. 4-3 Cardinals. He leads off the second. Cardinals lead 4-3. Without hit, the Giants 4-2. And Gant, who got the game winner last night, flying to left his first time, takes a ball from Danny Darwin. I know Darwin has been around this game a lot longer than I have, and maybe a lot longer than I ever will be as he catches the inside corner. But one way to keep your defense in the game behind you is to pick up the pace a little bit. And I think that factored into that long first inning and may have factored into the throw by Bonds, which was alarmingly wide on the play at the plate. Hard hit and through. Gant is on for the first time tonight.
And Joe, it's even more important for the defense to be on their toes, because Darwin's not the kind of guy who's going to strike out me. Just throwing breaking balls from different angles, trying to do whatever he can to trick people. And he throws strikes, and they have a very good defense behind you, so you can see why he is successful. But tonight he's very tentative and, you know, not staying ahead of the count and doing the things that we would expect from a Danny Darwin.
So Gant at first with nobody out, and here is Delino. The Shields single to start the rally in the first inning, and he bunts. He'll at least get Gant down to second. Out at first is the Shields, 1 away with McGwire coming up. Not exactly what Delino had in mind. He wanted to get a little further away from home plate, but he gets a man in scoring position for McGwire.
Well, you know, bunting can be a very valuable part of Delino's game, and at the very least, this drag bunt was to accomplish the fact of getting Gant into scoring position. I think it also is an indication that that hip and side's much better also. Of course, a lot of times you could also turn around and say, well, he's afraid to let it fly and let it swing the bat too.
It's a sacrifice on the part of DeShields. Down to second is Gant. Action in the San Francisco bullpen. Here's McGwire, and there's a strike from Darwin. And Mark would like to have that one back.
Yeah, he just drops down sidearm a little bit, but boy, there's nothing much on that 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball. Hey, Rich Rodriguez. Come on.
1 ball, 1 strike. McGwire is in search of home run number 22. He's got 54 RBIs, which is not the Major League's best.
Gonzalez, we've got 3 or 4 more.
Juan Gonzalez is up to 59. McGwire chased one there, strike 2.
And Mac way out in front, 80 mile an hour. 408 home runs.
Got number 400 in New York. They got a few in one night in Philadelphia. He had a monstrous blast here last night, but he's set up here at 1-2. That gets away. That'll put Gant at third with only 1 out. The RBI chance even easier. So the wild pitch now puts a runner at third. A single, a bunt, a wild pitch, and a runner at third with 1 out.
So you look at where this wild pitch ends up. See, he was so far out in front of the plate. Name trying to smother it, and it bounced high off the chest protector and got away from it.
So now with Gant at third, he will take his lead tentatively as he creeps closer and closer to McGwire with no glove to protect his body.
Gant's telling Lashman, you come up here, you get in front of me.
2 balls, 2 strikes on McGwire. 3-2 with Langford on deck.
I really would doubt that McGwire is going to see much here. Obviously, breaking ball should be a slider down away or something, you know, really sidearm. Dusty has Rodriguez ready. Fastball.
But he missed with it, and it's runners at the corners, 1 out for Langford, and we'll see if they stay with Darwin. Langford waits before getting into the batter's box. I think he expects a pitching change, but no sign of Dusty Baker, and he's now moving around over in that dugout.
Yeah, I really think that he's going to try and do whatever he can, because he's got a staff that's been doing a pretty good job. You know, they got a 3.48 ERA versus the Cardinals 5.03, but you still don't want to go to the bullpen so early and disrupt things for the next couple days.
Runners at the corners, 1 out for Langford. Strike 1. Langford his first time walked. And by the way, Darwin has now walked 3 with that free pass he handed to McGwire.
Well, we showed earlier where Langford hitting .500 against Darwin, and with so many of his pitches delivered sidearm, that left-handed hitter really gets a good look.
Now Rays set up at 0-2.
If you show the release point to a batter, if he has an unobstructed view, you know, you don't have the body being contorted or throwing the glove out or something like that. If that left-handed batter can pick up that release point from a sidearming right-hander, they're way ahead of the game.
Cardinals lead 4-3, have a chance to add to it. First and third, 1 out. But Langford set up at 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals put 5 men on in succession in the first inning. And took a lead on a sac fly by Clayton after RBIs by Jordan and Mabry. That's well hit into deep right center field. At the track, at the wall, gone. A 3-run shot and a 7-3 Cardinal lead.
Straight games, Joe. 10 away from Atlanta.
15 straight games for the Cardinals with at least 1 home run in each.
Yeah, that sinking pitch, but remember, a left-hander's a low ball hitter, and he didn't get it far enough away where he could extend his arms and go get that pitch. That pitch another 3 or 4 inches, and you saw Brent Mames start to reach back over the middle of the plate. If that's 3 or 4 inches further away from Langford, it's a great pitch.
Jordan gets a base hit into left center field. He's thinking 2. Bonds couldn't cut it off. Jordan's got a double. And with Mabry coming up, I think Darwin is leaving us.
I would think that's the case. An early shower for Danny Darwin. And Dusty may not want to do it, but this is tough to leave Danny out there right now. A lot of arm action, but the ball elevated, staying right in the heart of the zone. And really, Jordan, when he stopped around second, he was really kind of hobbling. Kind of made that little turn as Dusty makes a motion to bring in Rich Rodriguez, next victim.
An inning and a third. 7 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, no strikeouts, a wild pitch. And on the record tonight for Danny Darwin, this home run from Ray Langford, 7-3 Cardinals. There's the guy that caught the home run hit by Langford. He made a great catch out with his baseball cap, wearing a McGwire jersey. It just figures that he'd catch a home run. Can't hit a home run tonight, but he can catch one, and the Cardinals lead by 4.
Yep. Well, let's bring on the former Cardinal reliever, Rich Rodriguez.
Are you allowed to walk in the flowers?
No, I was going to say that we were having the security. We kept that on long enough for the security to get a good picture of that guy so we could take care of him.
They'll track him down. Here's Rodriguez with Jordan at second and only 1 out. Jordan went into the dugout while Rodriguez was warming up.
You know, we do not like people to go in the flower beds, but we can understand their enthusiasm here at the ballpark. And he's reading the rules. It doesn't say anything about can't trash the flowers.
That is the Busch Stadium rule book right there. And hereby, where within all...
But you know what? The first thing it says is have fun at the ballpark. And they're having fun tonight.
Mabry now facing the left-hander Rodriguez. Runner at second, 1 out. And a good pitch over the outside corner from Rodriguez.
You know, Joe, you keep on looking at, you talk about the new ownership and their budget and how they keep on having to extend the budgets. But if we don't acquire new players, it's only because we've super exceeded our fireworks budget this year on home runs.
Mabry takes a ball. Fred Hanser's talked about that before. He said the one budget I definitely want to go over.
Break the bank.
Break the bank on the fireworks budget. And lately the Cardinals have been pounding home runs at a clip unlike any other team in the league, and that includes Atlanta. Mabry strike 2.
Was it this month or out hit Atlanta in the home run department?
Well, they have 30 home runs, Al, in their last 15 games. So while they have had that streak, they've hit an average of 2 a game.
Guys must be inspired by the birds flying here at Busch Stadium.
Since they put that out in center field, it's
count it, you know.
It's been a big change around here. Muscling up. The Cardinals have 66 home runs as a team. Mabry strikes out for the second out of the inning. And by the way, the 66 home runs as a team up there in the top 5 in baseball and number 2 in the National League behind Atlanta. So 2 out, and it's up to Clayton with Jordan at second. Big blow of the inning, and probably the biggest swing of the bat so far, Ray Langford. In this inning, a 3-run home run to make it a 7-3 game. Here is Clayton, runner at second, 2 out, and the ball high from Rodriguez.
Tonight is the 13th game since the birds have been installed out there in center field.
And the Cardinal streak is 15.
15.
Games.
They fly after a Cardinal home run like the old one at Sportsman's Park in Old Busch Stadium.
The 1-0 to Clayton. 1 ball, 1 strike. Royce would like to bring home that extra run with 2 out. Cardinals lead by 4. They've out hit the Giants 7-2. We're only in the second. If you were out and you came home and you thought, well, I can't tune it in until about 8:15 or so, don't fret. 2 balls and a strike. Well, this game is an hour old exactly, and we're in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, now there's no excuse. There's no clock. There's no clock to this game, Joe. Settle in, have fun, and let's just continue and see the Redbirds pound away.
Here's the 2-1 to Clayton. Big swing, 2-2.
Yeah, Rich Rodriguez, when he was here, most of the time he spent on the disabled list. Now he's healthy, and the Giants are reaping the benefits. And he's been a workhorse of late for Dusty Baker.
He's got a good bullpen, Dusty.
Oh, the best in the National League.
Anchored by Rob Nen, but a lot of good setup men. A couple of nasty left-handers, Rodriguez and Poole. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's into right, pretty well hit, but Javier back to get it to end the inning. Cardinals lead 1. They've stranded 3, but in the inning, Langford's home run makes it a 7-3 score. Gant liked it. The crowd liked it. Cardinals up by 4 after 2. They were packed in here last night for Beanie Baby Night. Tomorrow they'll be packed in here for T-Shirt Day. Coca-Cola and Deerbergs present T-Shirt Day tomorrow. Cardinals and Giants at 1:10. All fans age 15 and under with a paid admission. There's no limit. No first 20,000. None of that. All fans age 15 and under with a paid admission receive a T-shirt designed like the Cardinals' new batting practice jersey. The names of Langford, Venice, Jordan, and Morris on the backs, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Deerbergs. That's tomorrow. Hope you join us. Ball 1 to Bill Miller. Cardinals lead by 4. We're in the third. Miller, Bonds, and Kent. Is that a change-up?
Change-up there, a real good one. You know, I mean, it's a little bit different. You know, oftentimes you think of a change-up to a right-hander, you want it down and away, but a left-hander, you know, you throw that ball down and in to a left-hander, it can be a little troublesome. So it's that whole situation, not only changing speeds at the same arm action to the hitter, appearing to the hitter, but you got to worry about location.
Miller fouled another away, and it's 1-2. Leading it off here in the third inning. Miller is gone on the strikeout, and Aybar has settled down. He's now struck out 2, and he takes care of their best hitter.
Well, Joe, if you were asking Manny Aybar to do something he's not physically capable of doing, that's one thing. But we know he is capable of throwing the ball. And look at the movement on that pitch. Bottom just fell out of that one. Maybe he's going to have a little more confidence. He's got this lead. He can settle in, just relax, and just let his natural ability take over.
Bonds takes a strike over the outside corner, and he didn't like the call. Much like with McGwire, they have the shift the Cardinals do with Mabry, the lone man on the left side of the diamond. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Used to do this with Stargell. He used to always say he was going to bunt off me. I said, if you do that, I'll meet you at first base, and we're going to fight.
2-1.
He just laughed.
He had a fun time.
Oh, he was a great guy. Great guy and great competitor. But you know, he would like to. He'd try to play mental games. We had a young pitcher named John Andrews, and he always started to went up to him and said, "Hey kid, I saw you pitch. You know, a little left-hander." He said, "I saw you. You know, you've got a nasty slider. I'm going to give you a little hint. The pitch I can't hit is a hanging slider.
3-1 to Bonds is out of play. 3-2.
Threw him a hanging slider. Before Willie got 2 steps out of the batter's box, that ball had hit the upper deck and bounced back to second base. And then he had the nerve to go into him and say, you know, that's the first time I've ever hit that pitch, but if you throw it to me again, I know I'll miss it.
Did he do it again?
No, I don't think he lasted that long.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Bonds. 1 out, nobody on. You don't want walks, up by 4, and that's what Aybar gives Bonds. 3rd walk issued by Manny, and the batter will be Jeff Kent, who could make it a 2-run game with 1 swing.
Now you just mentioned a couple strikeouts. Now his 3rd walk, so not the good ratio. And you touched on it. You know, I mean, even if Bonds were to hit it out of the ballpark, that's one thing, but you open up the floodgates by walking people and start giving up the multiple hits.
Here's Kent. He has the biggest hit of the night for the Giants in the 1st inning. A 1-out, 2-run triple. He scored the 3rd run of the inning. That might be. Mabry starts it, out. Over to first, out. 5-4-3, and that's the way to follow a walk. A double play. Mabry's getting along so well at 3rd. Bottom of the 3rd. Cardinals lead by 4. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by your local Dodge dealer, exclusive automotive dealer of the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. By Pizza Hut, home of the new Sicilian pizza. Can you handle it? And by Auto Tire, the home of bottom line pricing. Glad you're with us here at the ballpark as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Big crowd here as the Cardinals fell behind 3-0 in the 1st, came back with 4 in the bottom of the inning, added 3 on a home run by Ray Lankford in the 2nd, and Rich Rodriguez deals strike 1 to Tom Lampkin. Tom walked back in that long 1st inning. One ball, 1 strike. Aybar will follow, and then back to the top, Gant. Tom hitting .237 with 4 home runs. Big swing, and that caught the foot of Brent Maine, the San Francisco catcher. That hurt.
Richie, 35 opening day this year. Birthday was in March. Pitched for the Cardinals in 94 and 95. 56 games in 94 and only 1 game in 95. Remember, he said he had a little trouble in spring training. Said, yeah, I'm fine. Signed a contract. Then came out through one game. First game of the season or second, and then got an inning and 2/3. And said, nope, shoulder hurts.
I think he had 2 surgeries that year. Lampkin pops it into left for Bonds. 1 away, and Lampkin's 0 for 1. That'll bring in Aybar.
You are correct, sir. Had a couple operations, and finally has done the trick. He had to go to minor leagues with Omaha and the Royals before he worked his way back to the big leagues.
Base is empty for Manny, who bounced into a force out with 2 on and 2 out in the 1st. He has settled down on the mound, did walk Bonds, but got around it thanks to a double play ball off the bat of Jeff Kent. Cardinals lead 7-3 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Aybar didn't like that.
It was an inside pitch. Wasn't even close.
Over the outside corner, 1-1.
Manny wouldn't know. He was running out of there.
Aybar, a very good athlete. He swings the bat well.
Originally signed as a shortstop.
That's off the plate. Rodriguez gets it, throws it, 2 out. So 2 out, nobody on, and Rodriguez has faced all 4 Cardinals he's faced. Batter will be Gant, and Ronnie, who started that rally last inning with a hit, is 1 for 2. And his average is creeping up. It's at 242 with 10 home runs and 23 RBIs. Gant looking for the 8th Cardinal hit of the night. They've out-hit the Giants 7-2. Off Rodriguez. That's going to be tough. Eerily with a bare hand. Good play. 1-6-3 to end the inning. Cardinals go in order for the first time tonight. We sail into the 4th inning here at Busch Stadium. Javier, Snow, and Eerily coming up for the Giants. Good play by Rich Eerily. Doesn't it always happen? A guy makes a great play, and then he hits third the next inning. Cardinals lead by 4. After 3, Cardinals lead by 4, and Stan Javier first up. Takes a strike from Aybar. Javier walked in that first inning when Aybar allowed a leadoff hit, followed by a walk to Miller. Bonds flied out, but Kent tripled home 2 and scored on a sac fly by Snow. Big swing by Javier, strike 2.
Stanley stuck around the big leagues quite a while. Comes from a good family and hard worker. He's got to be in double digits now.
He's 34 years old, and he's been playing in the big leagues. This is his 11th full year.
Nice pension.
And he signed a contract through next season, just prior to this year. And there was some talk that he could end up here in St. Louis, but he opted to go back to the Giants because of the playing time, and he's getting a lot of it. 0-2 pitch. Still 0-2.
Yeah, guy that can catch the ball and sit on the bench and always be ready. You can make some money in this game. And as long as you don't outprice, yourself.
As long as you're realistic, and I
yes,
think Javier has been that while with the Giants. Came up originally with the Yankees. Here's the 0-2. Still 0-2. Yankees in '84 was his first year in the big leagues.
What was he at Johnson City? What, 82, 83, something like that?
81, 82. And the Yankees in '84, just for 7 games though. His first real full year. The end of '86, he came up for 59 games, and then half of '87 he was with Oakland. And he can't figure out Aybar, and Aybar can't get one past him.
And Tom Lampkin going to come out. Well, so he was there, and he saw McGwire when McGwire first came onto the scene.
Yep.
And you know who one of his teammates was? McGwire, Javier, had kind of an elder statesman, Dusty Baker. And Dusty made a nice comment about Mark McGwire. He sat there and said, you know what? He was a young kid right there, and you look at him today, and he hasn't changed a bit.
1-2 on Javier.
And your dad said that on our pregame show. There's a little comment where Jack Buck said that, he first saw Mark McGwire in '84 when he came through on that barnstorming with the Olympic team. So there's been some changes physically to him and how good of a hitter he's become, but as far as the personalities, they're wonderful.
2-2 on Javier leading off. Good at bat by Javier. Dusty Baker came up through the Atlanta organization, but made his name with the Dodgers. Played in LA from '76 to '83. Some great years with the Dodgers, some championship years. Was with the Giants in '84 and then Oakland for '85 and '86.
Well, I think if you talk to Dusty, and he'll tell you there was an awful lot of important conversations he had with Hank Aaron.
Aybar still 2-2 on Javier. He got to 2 strikes in a hurry, but he has been unable to put Stan Javier away, leading off in the 4th inning.
Ooh.
Oh, 3-2, and where did that miss?
Well, Aybar threw that pitch exactly where he wanted it and exactly where Lampkin called for it.
Now the 3-2. Another foul. Javier, a tough out for Aybar here to start the 4th inning with Snow and Aurelia. Anybody gets on Maine, anybody after that, the pitcher's spot. Three-two. Now he won't give him the outside corner. A leadoff walk. And Stan Javier earned that. 4th walk handed out by Aybar tonight, and it comes starting the inning. Cardinal fans, this break in the action is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. Here comes JT Snow with 1 on, nobody out. Cardinals leading by 4. Another guy you can get on the double play ball if he will hit it on the ground. Doesn't do that a lot. Strike 1 from Aybar. JT has hit a home run, driven in 18. Number 18 came in the 1st inning on a sac fly. Scored Kent from 3rd with 1 out. Over the outside corner, strike 2.
Well, I think the pitch that Javier walked on was a better pitch than that one that was just called. And that's when you get the batters start getting frustrated, when they have to guess, is that pitch a strike or a ball?
Here's the 0-2. Into left field, rather well hit, but Gant is there to get it. 1 on, 1 out as Javier goes back to 1st. So Snow retired for the 2nd time tonight. The other on a sac fly, and here comes Aurelia. Rich popped up to end that long 1st inning. Aybar headed to the dugout, sat there as his teammates came up with 4 runs on 4 hits in the 1st, came up with 3 runs on 3 hits in the 2nd. And we'll have DeShields, McGwire, and Langford in the bottom of this 4th inning. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters will bat for the Cardinals. Back to Aybar, and he knocks it to Mabry. His throw got him at 1st. What a good play by Mabry. 1-5-3 for the 2nd out of the inning, and that's where you get to see just how good of an arm John Mabry has.
And also, you know, he knew what type of release. Hanging breaking ball. Several bounces there. It does look like it goes off his right shoulder, deflects over towards Mabry. Now watch him come in. Instead of going over the top, he slings the ball from the side with something on it and good direction. That's what makes him have the ability to go from the outfield to 3rd base, is because he has that strong, but it's a most accurate arm.
Now a runner at 2nd, 2 out for Brent Mayne, who could dig into the Cardinal lead with a hit. Mayne is 0 for 1. He flied to left his 1st time up. Pitcher's spot is next. Right now there's nobody warming up for the Giants in their bullpen, and Lampkin's going to go out and talk about probably that very situation with Aybar.
Yeah, I think that's a combination of things. Hey, look over there. There's nobody warming up. You got the pitcher on deck, and it's not a guy that's in the starting rotation. It's a reliever. If he falls and throws another pitch out of the strike zone, Tony might just take that decision out of his hands and just go ahead and give him a pass.
Caught the corner, 1-1. Of course, after last night's game, going 12 innings, the bullpen was tested on each side. Last night we saw John Stone, we saw Nen, we saw Reed, and Tavares. A little high, 2-1. Didn't see Rodriguez last night, nor did we see Jim Poole. The 2-1 to Maine. 3-1, and it looks like Rodriguez might get a chance to hit.
Well, the one thing too, I wasn't sure on that little comebacker, that last one by Aurelia. I said I thought it might have gone off his shoulder, but it might have gone off his fingertips. And that might have had a little tendency to have a little numbness there for a split second. Almost a little surprised they aren't just intentionally passing him.
The intentional, unintentional walk, and Rich Rodriguez will bat with 2 on, 2 out in the 4th inning.
And with a veteran pitcher, you oftentimes will say, well, he knows not to make a mistake, you know, with a pitcher up there, but sometimes a young pitcher. Now, let's see this. I thought initially it was the upper arm, and still maybe, but I'm watching the fingertips. No, that's the arm.
I caught him above the bicep, right around the shoulder.
Oh, he's got big biceps, no problem.
2 on, 2 out for Rodriguez. 0 for 1 at the plate this year. And Manny's got to bear down, and this could turn into a big inning for the Giants.
I remember Rich liked to swing the bat, but I can't remember how good of a hitter he was. Saw that first flinch.
On deck is the leadoff man, Hamilton. So Aybar, one thing to pitch around the number 8 man, but you better get the guy coming up, and he's 2-0. I hope, and I don't think this is going to happen, but I hope that Aybar doesn't let what happened last inning bother him when Rodriguez ran one up and in on him.
Yeah, I mean, and you
this
see
is not the time for that.
The disgusted look on Tony's face right there. 2 things. If that's the case, you never let a personal thing come in the way of in between a victory. And the next thing is Aybar's got to start proving to people he's got a little stamina.
2-1. Rodriguez tanking all the way, and he might again here. Three and 1.
75th pitch thrown by Manny. And you've got to have better command. Trying to get through 4 right here.
3 balls and a strike. Manny Aybar trying to get Rich Rodriguez. Full count, and the runners will go. You just have to lay it in there.
Oh, yeah.
Rodriguez might get you, but you can't walk him.
If you walk him, you don't deserve to stay in this game and qualify for a win.
Little number to third, not going to be easy for Mabry. Bad throw, and it gets away. 1 run will score, that's it. Mabry had a chance to get him, but his low throw, McGwire couldn't dig it out, and all of a sudden it's a 3-run game with Hamilton coming up.
Well, they're going to score it at base hit and RBI. And there's the low throw, and what really made it difficult was it hit right at the edge of the grass and the dirt, so you didn't get that true hop or the ball stay up for a nice play from McGwire. It hit that grass and dirt and just submarined. Do or die type play.
With Bottenfield warming up in the bullpen, Dave Duncan will make a visit to the mound. It's now a 3-run game. The tying run is coming to the plate, Darryl Hamilton, who's already singled and scored tonight.
You just can't keep on having, you know, a starter give you 3+, 4+ innings every time out. So I mean, he's got to start proving to people that he's got a little stamina. We're not even talking about the fact that he's given up a run per inning.
Now Hamilton, this guy can get you. 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Strike 1 from Aybar. So a base hit by Rodriguez. Although they now have an error on the board, they may have changed it. It is. It's been changed to E5, no RBI. Hamilton strike 2. So no base hit and RBI, which was the initial call. It's an error on Mabry.
It's his third between the outfield, first base, and third base.
Runners at the corners, 2 out. Aybar needs to get Hamilton. He has him set up at 0-2. That's a big strikeout for Manny Aybar. As the Giants leave a couple, Aybar gives up 1, but he gets his 3rd strikeout of the night. Heart of the order coming up for the Cards. Bottom of the 4th, 7-4 St. Louis. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning here. Manny Aybar gave up that little number for what was ruled an error. No base hit and RBI. Alley's allowed only 2 hits, but he's walked 5, and in that last inning, top of this 4th, the Giants got a run and had a threat without even a hit.
Yeah, it just it doesn't matter. It's nice that you aren't giving up hits, but when you're providing base runners, you got your fielders back on their heels. The other opposition always feels like they're a part of it. When that pitch that he struck out Hamilton on, that's what happens when you throw that good, hard, biting slider if you're ahead in the count.
The Shields dinks a ball low, and we're underway in the bottom of the 4th inning. Delino, then McGwire, then Langford. One of the reasons why they wanted Rodriguez to stay out there. Rodriguez has been perfect. He has retired 6 in a row. And that's exactly what the Giants needed to stay in this game. And they're in it, down by 3 in the 4th inning. Here's McGwire.
That's where, Joe, you really want the Cardinal offense to get back on track, because if you just keep on going down meekly, then these Giants will come back.
A ball to McGwire. Mark tonight is a base hit, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Nobody on, 1 down. McGwire shoots one into left field. Track wall gone. It's 8-4 Cardinals, and McGwire has 22 on a line drive hit to left. Now that's crazy.
I'll tell you what, Barry Bonds had enough time to just make 1 step to his right and turn and watch it hit the Casino Queen sign. That was just an absolute cannon shot right out of a rocket. The Mac attack is out in the upper deck. This ball, breaking ball, and he just turned on it, line drive. Look at Barry, just look up. Bam, right off the Casino Queen sign.
Now Langford fouls one away. So Rodriguez made 1 too good, and that was literally a line drive that got over the wall and left.
Look at that extension, and just got the bat head out in front. You know, Mark McGwire say, you know, when everyone's talking about the assaults on Maris's record, he says, you know, it's kind of ridiculous until you get to around September, and I got 50. Watch the crowd in this reaction. They know, even though it didn't have his patented elevation, that ball was hit so hard, there was no question about it.
Langford checks on Miller, gets a nice hop.
But Joe, you know, Mac's talking about the assault on Maris's record. He said, you know, you got to average 10 a month. Well, he may get half of it in the first 2 months. 6-month season.
You know, I've said before, you've got to watch the game when he comes to the plate differently as a fan, as a broadcaster, as any onlooker, I'm sure as an outfielder. When McGwire comes to the plate, because he hits baseballs unlike anybody else. Nobody, I guarantee you, nobody else lines a ball over the wall and left that gets out that quickly.
Well, what is so unusual about it, he's as strong, if not the strongest guy in the game. But for a power hitter, most of them have a long looping swing. He has a short, compact swing. And he makes better adjustments than most hitters do. You know, if they have a certain pitching pattern to him and they're successfully getting him out, he will make the adjustment. He may give up another part of the plate, but he will make that adjustment to combat the way they're getting you out.
This is going to be close, and no throw even made by Aurelia. Jordan has an infield hit. Brian is 3 for 3. And who was the guy that wanted to talk about the strikeouts for McGwire? McGwire's been on base 3 times tonight.
Here it is. Bouncer right over the mound. That was going to be a difficult play because of Brian's speed. Even a little hobbled. You can see when he tries to stop, when that knee is a little sore and tender. But it sure doesn't affect him when he's going straight ahead.
I'd like to see anybody else get down the line that quickly. I don't think there's a right-handed batter in the league that goes home to first faster than Brian Jordan. Mabry, a little squirter off the glove of Rodriguez. No play for Miller, and it's 2 on, 2 out. That'll be a base hit.
Keep track of that one. An infield base hit for Mabry, but once again, slowed down by Rodriguez. Miller comes in here, tries to barehand. The only thing he could do, but as he reached for it, he kind of got it back into the webbing of his first finger and thumb, and then he kind of let go of it instead of forcing himself to throw that ball away.
So Rodriguez now all of a sudden finds himself in trouble. He gave up the 1-out home run to McGwire. Back-to-back infield hits here in the 4th inning as well by Jordan and Mabry, and now Clayton could give the Cardinals their biggest lead of the night.
Well, it's a case in point where relievers throw so few innings these days that you extend a guy a couple innings and they're spent.
That should end the inning. Aurelia gets a bad hop, and the bases are loaded. That ball came up and clipped Aurelia somewhere around the throat.
Yeah, they scored it in error, I believe, and this one really did take a tough hop. It would, if it stays, it would be his first error of the year. And this was Peeler, the groundskeeper here, says we keep this ground very soft. Now, occasionally you're going to get some bad hops right on the collarbone, right collarbone, and there's no way you can position yourself to catch that ball. You can have the greatest fundamentals in the world, but when that ball takes that bad a hop, you know, you do a good job just staying in front of it and having it drop at your feet.
Well, the Cardinals have loaded the bases here after the McGwire home run, and the ball.
Now they've changed it to a base hit.
Which it should be. The ball hasn't left the infield. And here's Lampkin. The Tom is 0 for 1.
Got to make him pay here, Joe.
To the right side, and easy for Snow to end the inning. Mark McGwire gets home run number 22. He's been on base 3 times tonight. A laser shot over the wall and left. And on that swing, the Cardinals get their 4-run lead back. Al Raboski, that home run by Mark McGwire took exactly 3 seconds from the time it left his bat to get over the wall and left. Here it is.
3 seconds for 366 feet.
That's over 100 feet a second.
Well, you could get a little better than that, could you? Like 122.
Very nice. Miller takes the first pitch and pops it to left. And a big out to start the top of the 5th inning for Aybar, with Bonds coming up. Barry tonight is 0 for 1 with a walk. He's also fly to right. Bonds with that infield shift. Mabry, the lone soldier on the left side, and ball 1 from Aybar, who doesn't look all that confident, except for that first inning attack on Bonds, pitching to Barry Bonds.
Yeah, the first inning he went right after him.
1 ball, 1 strike. One out, nobody on. Ball 2, 2-1.
Boy, it's tough to anything on the outer half to a left-handed batter. It's just a guessing game.
Now it's a strike, 2-2.
And I was looking at the monitor, that one there. I thought that was outside. Waiting the pitch before it looked better.
From up here it did.
Yeah. Umpire sits over the inside shoulder. The pitch away, he has to guess it.
2-2. A little much there for Barry Bonds. He has to pull the trigger a little quicker. That was 93 miles an hour. And every time I've checked the radar gun, that's the second hardest pitch Aybar's thrown. He threw a 94-mile-an-hour pitch to Javier. 2-2. 3-2. 87 pitches for Aybar, trying to get through 5.
Yeah, I mean, here you are. It's throws 100 pitches just to go through 5 innings.
That's the 6th walk handed out by Aybar.
Very difficult to win when you're giving that many free passes. And he may not be able to win just because Tony may not be able to keep him out there long enough to get through the 5th inning.
Kent Bottenfield will get ready out in the bullpen.
In a game like this, Joe, everyone's saying, and that phone rings down there, they all want to say, hey, I'll take this win.
I'll take that call. I got it. I got the phone. Kent now 1 on 1 out and a base hit. So here we go, 2 on 1 out. A walk opened it up, and here come the Giants with 2 on 1 out. Well, Fox Sports Midwest is proud to sponsor the 19th annual Special Olympics Golf Classic. Al Raboski will be the host for this celebrity event, and other former Cardinal players are expected to play as well. The Scramble tournament is Monday, June 29th at Fox Run, a beautiful golf course.
That's right.
Call the Special Olympics. There's the number, 961-7755 for more information.
You going to play? You going to come out and play with us?
What day of the week is
it? It's a Monday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, and it's perfect. You know, and out of Fox Run, one of these great courses that you can't wear spikes, so we're going to give everybody free shoes.
Here's a ball to Javier with 2 on 1 out. There's no better cause, or there are few causes in the same category as the Special Olympics in my book.
Oh, and I mean, to see those kids, just the joy they have competing, and winning and losing isn't important. It's just going out there and competing and being like everybody else.
Here's the pitch on 1-0. It's a strike from Aybar. Looked like Javier was taking all the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Aybar is on the verge of A, either getting out of this inning and being eligible for a win, or B, leaving before he can finish 5 and blowing a chance to win a ball game. He's 2-3. To the right side for DeShields. Only play to first, but that's the 2nd out. The runners move up to 2nd and 3rd for J.T. Snow. Javier bounces out for 3.
Wasn't hit hard enough to even think about going and getting the man at 2nd. And Manny, if you retire, J.T. Snow would more than likely be the last man you'd face, but then it was something you could build off of.
Yeah, I think either way here.
It's his last man.
Because Aybar is due to lead off in the bottom of this 5th inning. Cardinals have Bottenfield ready. Aurelia on deck. 2nd and 3rd. A hit could mean 2 runs. Cardinals lead is 4. So this is a big at bat for J.T. Snow. Tonight, J.T. 0 for 1 with a sac fly, and he's flying to left. Ball 1 low. Runners at 2nd and 3rd. A walk to Bonds, followed by a hit by Kent. 2 out. 1 ball, no strikes on Snow. Aybar trying to get through 5 innings. Up the middle. DeShields at least keeps it on the infield. 1 run scores, and it's an 8-5 Cardinal lead. Great play by DeShields as he saved a run by knocking it down, and now 1st and 3rd, 2 out with Aurelia coming in.
Rich Aurelia.
JT here, he really, I mean, you look kind of silly in one sense by diving, but really you don't, because if you're hustling out there, you're trying to do everything you possibly can, you aren't going to be watching that ball. You don't know if there's going to be a throw coming over to first base. You just get down to first base any possible way you can. Yes, once again, I'll say, if you're hustling, you'll never embarrass yourself.
First and third, 2 out, and Aybar will stay in to face Aurelia, and Lampkin saves her on. I'm a little surprised. And I know they're trying to get Aybar through this inning, but still a little surprised that Manny will face Aurelia, and we'll see if he can get out of the inning by allowing only 1 run. But again, a walk started this, and it's tough to pitch around 6 walks. I don't care what the score is.
Right, and you kind of mislead your bullpen a little bit sometimes too, unless you communicate and say, look, don't get the guy you're working on. You're going to pitch next inning because we're going to pinch hit for him. But if it gets down to Brent Mayne or something, you're coming in there. But because you'd have to suspect that Bottenfield was thinking just like us. One more batter, and he's facing Aurelia.
Instead, it's Aybar, and it's a 1-1 count on Rich, hitting .307. He's driven in 15. He's hit 4 home runs. A hit here would make it a 2-run game. Aurelia's the tying run at the plate. Into right center, long run for Jordan. He will not get there, and it's at the base of the wall. 2 runs are going to score. No throw by DeShields, and it's an 8-7 game. Well, in trying to nurse Manny Aybar through 5 innings, that big 4-run lead is now 1. And that's got to be all. And Manny Aybar cannot be upset. He got every opportunity and maybe 1 more than he should have to try to get through 5 innings.
Ball right up there. Comes down a little bit, but still stays about thigh high. Right at the base of the wall, right up by the gap sign. Plates 2. It's a 1-run ball game. And you feel for Manny, but it's time to grow up. You're going to have to pitch at the major league level. Your teammates give you 8 runs and you can't get through 5. You shouldn't stay here.
It's a 1-run game. Tying run at second, 2 out. Brent Mayne will be the hitter. And the new pitcher will be Kent Bottenfield. So just when you think the starting pitching is getting on a roll, Manny Aybar goes 4 2/3. He's allowed 7 runs on 6 hits. Why? He's walked 6.
Trivia question. Well, who was the last multiple batting title winner to retire a career with a career batting average under 300? No help today. Dave Parker, 290 average, won the title in 77 and 78. I'll tell you what, he could hit though, folks. And we want the Cardinals to continue to hit, but we need Bottenfield to get us through this 5th inning, Joe. He's in line with a victory if he can get this final out here in the 5th inning before the Giants score that Aurelia back out at second base. These are the kind of games that you really got to guard against. The offense worrying about everybody else. You can't be pointing fingers at the pitching staff and doing this and that. It's a team game.
Here's Brent Mayne, runner at second, 2 out. Bottenfield deals a strike. 8-7, the Cardinals lead, and the home run by McGwire in the bottom of the 4th inning is now the difference. Don't forget the Cardinals loaded the bases with 2 out, and Lampkin was fooled on a pitch and tapped weakly to first. Mayne could tie it with a hit. To the right side and through. That'll bring Aurelia to the plate. Jordan has no play, and it's an 8-8 game. Brent Mayne cashes in. 4 runs have been driven in with 2 out here in the 5th inning. And you can charge all 8 to Aybar.
Pitch right up there. And Tony can't be happy, but got a ball game. Played about 2 hours just to get even. Start all over.
Now we'll have a pinch hitter. Chris Jones will come off the bench. Jones will bat for Rodriguez, who did a great job.
Chris Jones.
He went 2 2/3 innings. Rodriguez did, allowed only 1 run. Did that on 4 hits, struck out 1 and walked none. 8-8 here in the 5th, and Chris Jones waits for the pitch from Bottenfield, who has really struggled. After a great start to the season, Kent Bottenfield has had a rough couple of weeks. Bottenfield, by the way, has now allowed all 4 inherited runners he has picked up to score this season. The numbers for Jones. Started this season in Arizona. Takes it low, 2-1.
Actually got the first pinch hit in Diamondbacks history.
The 2-1 pitch. Pretty good swing there. 2-2.
And he's combined 3 for 15 with a double and 3 walks, 2 RBIs as a pinch hitter this season in the 2 ball clubs. Had a good year for Padres last year.
Here's the pitch. Strike 3 over the outside corner, but major damage done. 4 runs score in the top of the 5th inning, halfway through it. It'll be a pinch hitter, Gant to Shields coming up. Anybody gets on McGwire. Now we're tied at 8. Ball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. If you depend on your car, depend on Dobbs. And by Steak and Shake. Extra innings. We're open 24 hours. Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. View from outside Busch Stadium. Inside, a new pitcher takes over for the Giants. The 3rd of the night. It's Johnstone. In an 8-8 game, the Cardinals led 7-3, led 7-4, then 8-4, but 4 runs scored for San Francisco in the top of this 5th inning. Bottenfield allowed an inherited runner to score. He's finished for the night, as Brian Hunter will lead off, batting for Bottenfield. 8 runs charged to Aybar in 4 2/3 innings. The new pitcher will be Painter. And the Cards take the field in the 6th inning. Right now, they're trying to get the lead back. Hunter off the bench, hitting .233 into left center field. That's going to fall for a hit. A nice start to the 5th inning as Brian Hunter is successful off the bench.
Nice going, Brian Hunter. And doing it off a tough pitcher, Johnstone. Oh, he's been real tough. Look at this breaking ball, and just reaches out, just got enough of it to hit it into no man's land. That Bermuda Triangle where no one could get to it. Johnstone, you see the numbers on there, but he's been touched for just 3 runs in his first 19 outings of the year, and yielding only 13 hits and 93 at bats, a 140 average.
Now Gant pulling out, couldn't catch up to that breaking ball low and away. Strike 1. They're in the top of the 7th inning in Houston. San Diego leading 3-2. Cubs trailing at Atlanta in the 9th inning. Down by a couple. Pittsburgh beats Florida 10-4. 1 on, nobody out. Gant, strike 2. LA and Arizona just underway. Philadelphia lost at Montreal. New York shut out Milwaukee and Jeff Juden 3-0. And Cincinnati at home defeated Colorado 4-1.
Sounds like we need to win.
Maybe another chance to gain ground on more than one team in the division. This time Gant laid off 1-2. Ron tonight has a hit. He's 1 for 3. Singled back in the second and scored. And a 3-run home run by Langford. The Cardinal offense has to get it going again. Hunter at first with nobody out. Ron stays alive.
Johnstone really throws across his body. And actually he has more success statistically of retiring left-handed batters than he does right-handers.
Darwin started, couldn't get through 2. Rodriguez was very good in 2 2/3. Now Johnstone. Hunter the go-ahead run at first. We're only in the 5th inning. Nobody out. Gant creeping up on the plate. A 1-2. Checked his swing. 2-2. Giants sent 8 men to the plate in the top of this inning. Cardinals would like to return the favor in the bottom half. It's about what happened in the first. Giants got 3. Cardinals got 4. The 2-2. Left field, easy for Bonds. 1 out. That'll bring in to Shields with McGwire to follow.
Second baseman.
Folks, don't forget on Friday, June 5th, the Cardinals play San Francisco. They're right back in town in a couple of weekends. And it's Budweiser Freezer Mug Night. The first 25,000 fans, 21 and over with a paid admission, receive a custom-designed freezer mug courtesy of Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Friday, June 5th, Cards and Giants. Here's to Shields. Ball 1 on the breaking ball from Johnstone. Lance Painter will pitch in the 6th inning and start with the top of the order. Hamilton, Miller, and Bond. 1 on, 1 out. 2-0.
Left-handers, I would imagine, really would have to keep that front shoulder in and try and hit the ball the opposite field off of Johnstone. Goes so far across his body, it looks like he would have difficulty of trying to throw the ball in on a right-handed or left-handed batter. Excuse me.
Delino granted time by Paul Schreiber just before the pitch. 2-0. Shields has hit 2 home runs. 3-0 with McGwire next. The Shields has got to take here, no doubt.
Yeah, maybe we can say or show when I'm talking about throwing across his body. This pitcher stands on the first base side of the rubber, but then he steps all the way across towards their dugout, and he can only pitch. He kind of blocks himself off for throwing a ball inside where he's at now. But he'll take that front leg and he'll step it towards the third base dugout.
The 3-1 to DeShields. He went. Chase ball 4 with McGwire next. It's 3-2.
When I often see Delino do that, he'd be a little over anxious. Especially in that situation, if you're going to pull the trigger, you're looking for one specific pitch. That's about the only pitch he can throw inside is that breaking ball.
Runner goes, ball 4, and it's 2 on for McGwire. That's the last thing Johnstone wanted to do. And as McGwire digs in, Aurelia, the shortstop, Brent Main, the catcher, go out to talk to the young right-hander. McGwire's already hit 1 home run tonight. He's been on base 3 times. He's singled, walked, and homered. He scored 3 of the 8 Cardinal runs, and he has 2 on, 1 out. Strike one. Cardinals trying to get the lead back. It's an 8-8 game. One ball, one strike. McGwire with a line drive home run over the wall and left his last time up. He's up on the count here, 2-1. Langford next. Cardinals trying to turn a leadoff hit by Hunter and a one-out walk to DeShields into some runs. Two and two.
Didn't really want to swing at that ball. A little deceptive the first time you see Johnstone. If he hangs that breaking ball, or if he gets the ball over in the middle of the heart of the plate, look out.
On 2-2, that ball is into left center field. His second of the night. It's 11-8 Cardinals.
Look out. I think that one went off the scoreboard right there beyond the Chevrolet sign. 23 home runs now. And Joe, that was a 3-1. You're going to have to get a calculator to figure out these RBIs, but 58 RBIs now.
I'm guessing curtain call.
He gets the ball in the middle of the plate. Look out. That's in the middle of the plate.
Here comes the curtain call. McGwire gives it. This crowd loves it. And the Cardinals, after blowing a 4-run lead, get 3 runs here in the 5th inning to lead it 11-8. The curtain call for McGwire.
You know, he's embarrassed by doing that, but yet do it.
Langford with a line drive right into the glove of Jeff Kent.
It's a breaking ball, and it just got down into his wheelhouse. This will fly to this ball, and it'll go off the Chevrolet sign, just to the right of the Chevrolet sign on the scoreboard and down into the fence.
Now, how far is that?
Well, it's not as far as his Band-Aid, but
it's not too far behind.
Let's say that's 545. That's about 480.
I'm going to guess higher. I'm going to say 500. We have not received word, and one of the reasons why a lot of the times it's disputed is because a lot of times people don't see where that ball hits. This is a perfect example. You saw where that ball hit. My initial reaction was that it just landed out in the bleachers, but that ball hit up off the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And that was our reaction the other night on radio when he hit the billboard in center field. That ball is fair, and it's interfered with, so a ground rule double for Brian Jordan. He's heading for third, but it's a double. So Brian will have to go back. His knee is obviously fine, and Al Jordan is 4 for 4.
4 for 4 with 2 singles and 2 doubles now. He would have had the triple, but looked like a young fan interference. There you see it very clearly. There was fan interference. So a ground rule double. Bring out the Busch Stadium code book, though, again. Let's get the rule book out there.
Jordan disappointed he doesn't have a triple, and Renee Latchman's going to argue the case.
Yeah, what they're going to say is, you know, he's getting clarification, but I think what they're trying to say is, hey, there's no way. I mean, the guy touched it and everything. The right fielder still had to go to it, but the rules are. that if a fan touches it, they're trying to get a interpretation that he would have been at third.
But isn't there some give factor in that rule?
I think so. I think there is.
The umpire, if in his judgment, Jordan in this case, could have easily had the triple, then there is some judgment there, and that doesn't happen here.
On certain rules, I agree with you. I think there are, and at first I was saying a blanket statement, but I think when you started your sentence, I think there is one that's open to interpretation. But you can imagine that just opens up an argument on both sides. And they're saying, hey, it's your fans.
Mabry is getting the intentional walk. This will be the second walk of the inning, and the Cardinals are getting to Johnstone, one of the few teams that's been able to. And the Cardinals lead 11-8. Mark McGwire hit his second home run of the night. In this inning, the 3-run shot is 23rd of the year. We're going to have a pitching change, but here, Al, a shot of eerily and Bonds on that fly ball by McGwire. And part of the grounds crew out in left center field.
That's great video.
Trying to help blow it into the bleachers. Well, it didn't need any help.
Am I correct in saying we're taking out the right-hander? We intentionally passed Mabry, the left-handed batter, and now we're bringing in a left-handed pitcher?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
With Clayton coming up, this is hard to understand. But it'll be the left-hander Poole. Cardinals lead by 8.
Now the Cardinals are still batting here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Mark McGwire's provided quite a bit of offense. It's his second home run. Here he is, 2 men on. Waggle of the bat. Going to get a breaking ball out over the plate, and he hits this blast that goes off the scoreboard right around just to the right of the Chevrolet sign. There you see it, and that was measured at 477 feet. Don't be messing with me. I said 480.
I don't believe it. I am crying foul. Not foul on the ball, but foul on the measurement.
No, it's Poole.
This is Poole to face Clayton. This is a strange.
No, I got your answer for you here, Joe. And you can see here's a left-hander, but sometimes left-handers have trouble getting left-handed batters out. That was one of the reasons why we traded Senor Nasty, Rigo Beltran. But Jim Poole this year, right-handers are hitting 229 against him. Left-handed batters 348.
2 on, 2 out. And a strike to Royce.
And remember, Poole was with Dusty last year, so he really would rather have this left-hander face right-handed batters than he would have him face the left-handers.
Clayton looking for that big 2-out RBI hit. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't believe that was 477. I refuse. I don't know that they know exactly where that ball hit.
Oh, I bet that's true too.
Doesn't matter. It's an 11-8 game, and the Cardinals answer after the Giants got 4 in the top of this 5th inning. The Cardinals have come back with 3, lead 11-8. 2 on, 2 out. And the 1-1 to Clayton. There's that pitch down and in, and one of the reasons why I'm sure he's tough against right-handed hitters.
But by the same token, if he makes that same pitch to a left-hander in the same location, they aren't going to hit that one either, too. Been around for a while. Having 2 left-handers in that bullpen, that's a luxury.
Here's the 1-2 to Clayton with 2 on, 2 out. Instead, Poole looks back at Jordan.
But Joe, he's a prime example why I say sometimes as a relief pitcher you better be able to get the opposite man out, because there's the numbers right there. But so often, unless it is a premier batter, the manager is going to make that pitching change, or he's going to make a hitting change anyway. So you come in to face a left-hander and they all of a sudden switch off and you have to face a right-hander. So you better be able, if you're a left-hander, you better get out right-handers, and you're right-handers, you better get out left-handers.
Clayton waits, 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looking for the 2-out RBI hit. Cardinals lead 11-8. 5th inning. Up the middle. Great play, Aurelia, to get the out. That saved a run. Rich Aurelia saved a run with that effort to his left. The Cardinals come up with 3. Mark McGwire, one of many curtain calls here at Busch Stadium. He has hit 23 home runs. Well, the Giants are still in this game thanks to Rich Aurelia. This is our Hoover pickup of the game. To his left, the sprawling play. Not only did he keep it on the infield, he got the force out at second to end the Cardinal threat in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Cardinals got 3. There's the message board in left center field where the ball hit.
Now watch. We're going to zoom right in there and see that speck or that spot. That's the dent where McGwire's 23rd home run hit. So now go ahead and measure it.
All right, I'll measure that tomorrow after the Sunday game.
I hope you get a long tape measure.
Think they'll be talking about that on Fox Sports News primetime? You can bet that's coming up next after tonight's game. So stay right where you are. It's been a long one, but it's been a fun one. And Hamilton leads it off against the new Cardinal pitcher, Lance Painter.
By the way, Joe, McGwire now is on a pace to hit 79 home runs this month.
Here's the 1-0. Not getting the outside corner now, and it's 2-0 on Hamilton. Hamilton 1 for 3 tonight. The numbers for Painter.
Lance has been very good in retiring left-handed batters. They're batting 160 against him, and right-handed batters 333.
Little jam shot, scored it foul, 2-2. By the way, on that home run by McGwire, he now has 46 multiple home run games in his career, which ties Mantle and Killebrew for 8th on the all-time list. Babe Ruth leads the way with 72.
He can't do anything without getting compared to Babe Ruth, can he?
Here's the 2-2. Into center field. Langford is there. Leadoff man gone.
And something else. Of course, McGwire, 410 home runs now, I think, in his career. Of course, Mantle and Killebrew both are members of the 500 home run club. And isn't it going to be neat to see McGwire join that club wearing a Cardinal uniform?
Look at that.
The other McGwire.
2.5-foot radius. There are 2 McGwire shirts out there. 1 out, nobody on, and Miller takes a ball. Bill will turn around and bat right-handed for the first time tonight. George hitting third baseman. He's 0 for 2 tonight.
Did you happen to see his average, the switch hitter, on both sides of the plate?
It's rather lofty.
360 right now. He came in at hitting 365. 362 from this right side and 366 from the left. That's pretty consistent.
2-0 pitch from Painter. 3-0 with Bonds on deck. Three and 1.
Right, the Cubs came up with 1 run in the 8th, 3 in the 9th to tie Atlanta 6-6.
There's a big out in front of Bonds into left center field for Gant. 2 up, 2 down against Painter. Well, you knew at some point the Braves would miss Mark Wohlers. They've had a more than capable fill-in in Kerry Lightenberg. But tonight the bullpen not good enough for Atlanta. The Cubs are 6-6 in the 10th inning at Turner Field. Bottom of the 8th inning now at Houston, with the Padres leading 3-2.
They do have a good closer.
2 out, nobody on, and Bonds takes a strike. Berry's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Both walks were against Aybar, who walked 6 in just 4 2/3 innings. 1 ball, 1 strike. Houston may be out in front in the division by 4.5 games over the Cardinals. Not to talk about the other clubs in the division. But I'll guarantee you the Cardinals are more fun to watch. 2 balls and a strike on Bonds. It's never boring, offensively or defensively. He supplies the offense, and so much that goes on here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The team, and right now this city is revolving around McGwire. Base is empty for Bonds. The 2-2 pitch. See you, Barry. A 1-2-3 inning for Lance Painter. Nice work by the Cardinal left-hander. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bottom of the order coming up. 11-8 St. Louis. Fox Sports Midwest is your regional outlet of the Fox Sports Net. Bottom of the 6th inning. 11-8 Cardinals lead. Don't forget Fox Sports News prime time after tonight's game.
Maybe a touch late for Fox Sports Midwest.
Lampkin takes a ball. It is an incredible operation they have going on at the studio in Century City, where they get all of these different regional cable outlets together, mixing in the news and getting everybody on the same page, and get this little room where these 2 people go through it. It's incredible. Lampkin offered at that pitch. He didn't think so, and the count 1-1. Tom tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. Last night had a key hit in the Cardinals' game-winning rally in the 12th inning. Jim Poole, his first full inning. Good breaking ball. Strike 2. Painter will follow, and then Gant.
Because of that breaking ball, a little surprised that he hasn't had better success against left-handed batters.
Lampkin gets a piece. Poole is another member of that Cleveland Indians bullpen, part of their American League Championship team back in '95. He and Tavares, a couple of big parts of that bullpen, setting up Jose Mesa. Ball and 2 strikes. Still 1-2. John Hart, the general manager in Cleveland, has done a great job year after year of fortifying that Indians bullpen. They seem to be able to find left-handers when nobody else can. Two and 2 on Lampkin.
About in spring training, we saw Jesse Orozco. You know, Osamacher still going strong.
2-2 pitch. Lampkin grounds it foul. Well, they've had Mormon, Alvin Mormon.
Yeah,
he's been with Houston. They have Tom Martin, who's also been with Houston.
See, I think Tom Martin was a guy that, you know, Houston just let go in the expansion draft. I think they really got hurt in the expansion draft.
Very much so. 2-2 pitch to Lampkin. That's into right field, and Javier plays it in the air for the catch. A delayed call by the second base umpire. Javier made a nice running catch. Well, folks, Fox Sports Midwest is pleased to congratulate the Dace family of St. Louis. Stephanie, Deirdre, and Devon. Cardinals super fans for tonight's game. Their favorite players, Ray Langford and Brian Jordan. Good picks. Off-season or preseason, regular season or postseason, it all matters. If it happens in sports, you can be sure it's in the Post. Get the area's most in-depth sports coverage in the Post-Dispatch, delivering more than just the score. 1 out, nobody on, and Painter gets a base hit into left center field. Lance is on with 1 out here in the 6th.
Boy, I tell you one thing, you know, Lance Painter had such tremendous concentration because I thought I was hearing a distinct sound. You know, some kind of sound when Lance was up there. Yeah, that's the one I thought I was hearing. That must be music to one of the new papas. It must be Jordan Ann crying for Daddy. Jordan Ann. Lance Painter, you know, last Friday morning. A week ago yesterday, Jordan Ann was born. Dad went out and pitched a couple perfect innings that night against Florida. Now he comes in and does the job last inning, gets a base hit. You remember that? You remember that sound, don't you?
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike. I just want the blood to return to my face. That was scary for a minute there. I didn't know what was happening.
Oh, you didn't know?
No, I had no idea. All of a sudden, there's this baby crying in my ear. I see. We're getting tricky at 9:48. The 1-1 to Gant is a high strike. Strike 2 from Jim Poole. So Painter is on with a hit. I saw Lance in Philadelphia in the lobby. I said, "How you doing, Lance?" He said, "Well, I got some sleep last night." Here's the 1-2 pitch. Gant pops it up. We got a full swing, but just got under it. 2 out as Bonds puts it away, and the batter will be DeShields.
I mean, new papas, they love their wives to death. They're so excited about their kids, but they really do like to go on the road there early.
At least you get a chance to sleep, but you know, Lance was just beside himself, so happy the birth of their daughter.
Yeah, David Howard, they had a little baby. Everybody's got to have a baby with Ann as the middle name. What about Doug Stanton, our Chiron guy? He's got a 3-week-old. Is there an Ann in that name?
1 on, 2 out. The 0-1 to DeShields, gets away, and Painter down to second. Maine doesn't see it, and now a hit could mean a run. Wild pitch.
You ever stop to think about how many wild pitches come off of left-handers' curveballs and breaking balls?
Well, how many left-handers throw good curveballs anymore? I mean, there are very few.
Oh,
a
yeah.
guy like Poole stands out. Cardinals had a good one a couple of years ago in Honeycutt, but they're tough to find. That good over-the-top breaking ball.
And if you find one, you hold on to them.
DeShields looking for the 2-out hit. He's hit well against left-handed pitching. That's a strike. 1 and 2 now from Poole, whose incentive to get out of this inning with DeShields at the plate is in the on-deck circle. One ball, 2 strikes. 2 out, a runner at second, and McGwire next.
Here's the dilemma. You say if first base was open, say Delano gets a double. First base is open. There's Dusty. Walk. DeShields to bring up Langford. Because remember,
McGwire.
McGwire, because remember earlier they had the right-hander pitch to the left-hander, Langford. Or they intentionally walked the left-hander to bring in Poole to face a right-hander.
Runner at second, 2 out. The 1-2 to DeShields, 2 and 2. Houston came up with 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th, and they lead 4-3 at home over San Diego. Cardinals lead 11-8 here in the 6th inning. Runner at second, 2 out. 3 and 2 now on Delano. Well, if DeShields can reach and it becomes first and second, there's no decision. You have to pitch to McGwire. Delano trying to make that happen. He did last time up with a walk. 3-2 pitch. That's down the left field line, slicing into the corner, and foul. DeShields on 3 and 2, trying to drive home a run or get this inning in the hands of McGwire. Painter at second, 2 out, 3-2 pitch. Well hit to center, but Hamilton there. Inning over. A hit by Painter, a man left. Cards have left 9, and after 6, Cardinals lead 11-8. Folks, on Monday, May 25th, the Cardinals play the Rockies. That's this Monday at Six Flags Day here at the ballpark, where all fans 10 and under with a paid admission receive a free child's admissions pass to Six Flags of St. Louis, good through July 4th of this year. Also, visit the Looney Tunes characters in the Kids Corner during the game. That will be there for you for kids 10 and under. Monday, May 25th, Cardinals and Rockies. That's this coming Monday, Memorial Day.
I see something where Kelly Chase can be signing autographs tomorrow out here at the ballpark, with out there in the kids area or something like that, for his his hockey foundation.
Yes, I saw that as well.
Yeah, that's Kelly. What a good guy he is, and what how those kids respond to him.
I want to tell you one thing about McGwire, just so you know. At this point, this is May 23rd. Roger Maris didn't hit his 23rd home run until the Yankees' 61st game in 1961. This is the Cardinals' 47th. So that's what kind of a pace McGwire's on. In fact, the pace to hit 79, which a lot of baseball people don't like. When you say a guy's on pace to hit blank, it doesn't really matter. But that's the story, in case you were wondering. Here's a pitch inside to Kent as we are underway in the 7th inning. Painter back to work. He had a perfect 6th inning. Mabry in at third. The 1-0 is a strike on the inside corner. One ball, one strike on Kent. That's strike 2. Painter trying to retire his 4th in a row. He went through Hamilton, Miller, and Bonds in the 6th inning. In fact, struck out Bonds looking. A ball and 2 strikes on Kent. Good pitch down and in, struck him out. Painter's hitting his spots, and he's retired 4 in a row.
The movement on that ball, just going right after his kneecaps, and almost a self-defense swing. But velocity is nice, but movement and location are more important.
Now with 1 out, nobody on, it's Stan Javier, the switch hitting right fielder. A ball low. Mabry in at third, 1 out, the 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Kelly Chase and Tony Twist will sign autographs at Busch Stadium in the Family Pavilion area starting at 11:10 a.m. before tomorrow's Cardinal-Giants game. Raise money for Gateway Special Hockey and the Head First Foundation.
Kelly, Twister, he's been talking about doing a motorcycle, what would you call it?
A rally?
Rally, yeah. Some former or some hockey players, and I think they're going to do it on the West Coast this off season. Raise money for the Head First Foundation.
A 1-out walk handed to Javier, and JT Snow walks in. First man to reach against Painter. No action in the Cardinal bullpen right now. That may change momentarily. Here's Snow with Aurelia next.
JT struggled this season, and for some off the field reasons and everything else. Mom doing much better, but we want to wish her, and I'm sure she's watching, We're big JT fans, but we got to have him struggle a little bit tonight, tomorrow, Mom.
Pitch down and in to JT for ball 1. Snow batting right-handed, overall hitting 186, a home run, 18 RBI. 2-0 as Painters hit a wild streak. They walk Javier on 4 pitches after making a nasty pitch to Kent, and now he's 2-0 on Snow. One on, one out. Important pitch coming here from Painter. 3-0.
And now he's kind of lost it, and you know, sort of that double-edged sword. You're allowing the Giants to mentally think they have a chance to get right back in this ball game, but by continuing to throw these additional pitches, it makes it that much tougher to, if he needs his services tomorrow, to bring him back.
There's a strike, 3-1. Houston won tonight. They got 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning to beat San Diego 4-3. The Cardinals will have to win here tonight to stay 4.5 out. They lead 11-8. They've out-hit the Giants 15-7. 1 on, 1 out, 3 balls and a strike. Strike 2. Come back, JT. 3-2. One on, one out for Snow. It was 3-0. It's now 3-2. That's well hit into left field. Might leave the park. At the wall and gone. A 2-run shot, and it's an 11-10 game in the 7th.
Joe, only the 2nd home run for a guy that had 28 a year ago and hit one from the right side. That's got to be great news for the Giants. But also 4 RBIs on the night for JT Snow. See, strike 2. His 3-1 pitch. He started to go to first base thinking it was ball 4, and they're a hanging breaking ball. Very rarely do you see someone swing at that, but because they called a high pitch, he said, okay, I can't take a chance, I'll swing at it. And that's what happens when you have a lot of hanging breaking balls. They go a long way.
That did go a long way to make it a 1-run game. And the lead is starting to slip away again. It's 11-10. Our next telecast for you on Fox Sports Midwest is the subject of our Auto Tire What's on Tap. And we will bring you the Wednesday night game against the Rockies. And we hit the air at 6:30 with our pregame show. So it's a 1-run game in the 7th inning, and here's Eerily. 1 out, nobody on. And a breaking ball for a strike.
Big night, 4 RBIs and a 1-run ball game. Welcome to Wrigley Field.
1 out, nobody on. The 0-1 from Painter. A little excuse me base hit into right. Are you kidding me? Eerily just bloops it into right field. He didn't even swing at it, and he gets a base hit to right. McGwire smiles as any player looking at this has to consider this a gift for Eerily.
Oh, I really don't want to swing. Look, he tried to hold his swing up.
So the tying run is on with only 1 out, and Brent Maine walks in. He tied this game back in that long 5th inning with a 2-out base hit off Bottenfield. Check on Eerily. It'll be McGwire, Langford, and Jordan for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th. A walk and a home run, a bad combination, up by 3. That's what hit Lance Painter here in the 7th. Breaking ball is called ball 1 by Paul Schreiber, home plate umpire. Pitch to Maine. Keep it there, and Painter will get out of the inning. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a good low delivery.
Drop down a little bit to change the arm angle.
Here's the 1-1. Strike 2. Maine hung in there pretty well on that pitch from Painter.
Sometimes they'll tell you, and the reason I say drop down the pitch before, because a lot of hitters will say, okay, if you throw over the top, that's real easy to see. Easy to pick up the release point. There's no deception.
1 on, 1 out, 1-2 the count. And a little squirter to Painter. Painter out at second and out at first. Beautifully turned by Clayton. He was taken out by Eerily. Clayton hung in there tough. Time to stretch. 11-10 Cardinals. Game summary brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. This Bud's for you. Mark McGwire's hit 2. Total of 843 feet. On pace to hit 79 home runs. Another multiple home run game for McGwire, putting him on the list, 8th place. Here's the first one, a laser shot over the wall and left. And then this swing in the 5th inning, a 3-run shot to put the Cardinals back out in front off that scoreboard after the Giants had tied it 8-8. It was 11-8. Now it's 11-10, and McGwire will lead off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, the Cardinals got back from Philadelphia late the other night in one game in Philadelphia. The first night there, he hit 3 against the Phillies, and here they are. That's number 1. Home run number 2 into left center field, and then home run number 3 into the upper tank. The game-winning shot. McGwire walks in to lead it off in the bottom of the 7th inning.
So he's already hit 3 home runs in a game twice this season. And you have a feeling that these fans aren't going to be satisfied unless he hits another one.
Well, he'll have to do it against the side-arming right-hander, Steve Reed.
Got a switch in their Giant battery as Brian Johnson now is catching Steve Reed. I caught him in the middle of the innings, and I put my head down because Maine made the last out. So he's still back at Brent Maine.
Well, Maine is catching. Reed is pitching. McGwire is at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a good pitch. One ball, 1 strike. Off the end of the bat, a broken bat fly ball to Bonds. Lost it in the lights, but made the catch. 1 down. And McGwire is retired for the first time tonight, and maybe the reason the bat shattered in his hands. That'll bring in Ray Langford.
Fans sure appreciate, and he is. I mean, just the electricity of the stadium every time. Now look at, everyone goes to the bathroom, concession stands, because McGwire's already hit.
Steve Reed last night gave up an 8th inning home run to Ray Langford. The numbers for Reed are great. And Langford takes a strike.
Oh, everyone's going to the bathroom.
Good night. See you later.
No, they're coming back. There's a lot more baseball.
Oh, yeah. Over the outside corner again. It's 0-2 from Reed on Langford. The Giants in their 8th inning. We'll start with the number 9 spot, then Hamilton and Miller against Curtis King. The 0-2. Too far outside. And no double switch, so Reed is out there for 1 inning. Cardinals lead 11-10. Houston won tonight with 2 runs in their bottom of the 8th inning. 2-2 on Langford. Ray has a 3-run home run tonight. It's been a 3-homer night for the Cardinals. From 0-2 to 3-2. One out, nobody on. McGwire flying to left. Langford takes ball 4. 1 on, 1 out with Jordan coming up. That's the 5th walk handed to the Cardinals tonight. One of them an intentional pass back in the 5th.
And Joe, a night that we thought that we could pick up some ground on the leaders in the Central Division. Now we must win this game just to keep pace. Houston has already won, and it looks like with a 4-run 10th inning that the Cubbies are in line for a victory. They're still batting, and they've scored 4 and make it a 10-6 game.
1 on, 1 out. Langford running. The pitch back to Reed. The only play to first. Out there for the 2nd out. It's going to be up to Mabry.
Third baseman, John Mabry.
Well, by starting the runner, Cardinals at least avoided the double play, and Mabry walks in. He's been on base 3 times tonight.
Steve Reed's done a great job. He's a big part of the success. They're going to intentionally pass him. Left-handers usually have a pretty good look at these sidearm relievers.
2nd intentional walk handed to Mabry tonight.
And left-handers are batting .226 against Steve Reed. Doesn't sound like much, but when you consider their right-handers are only batting .138, you can see why the strategy is being employed.
Just to follow up on something that we talked about earlier, the Cardinals have hit at least 1 home run in 15 consecutive games. That's a club record. It grows every day. And during those 15 games, the Cardinals have hit 32 home runs.
32 of 67.
67 as a team. So 2 on, 2 out, and here's Clayton. Two on, 2 out. Clayton looking to burn his ex-teammates. He's driven in 1 run tonight with a sac fly back in the 1st. Drove in the 4th run of the 1st inning. 2 on, 2 out. And the fastball a little high, ball 1. Cardinals looking for a little breathing room. 1 ball, 1 strike. Clayton, with that sac fly in the 1st inning, has driven in 15 runs on the year. He's hit just 1 home run. Two on, 2 out. That was out over the plate. Strike 2. Now Clayton choked way up on the bat, trying to make contact. Reed trying to pitch a scoreless 7th inning. Guys are working double time tonight. Another big crowd. And it's been a long night. 3-hour game already. 2 on, 2 out. That's foul.
Eddie Montague.
A part-time magician.
Part-time. Did you see how he made that ball just appear out of nowhere?
It's incredible. Clayton able to spoil that last pitch. He's waiting for a Reed mistake. Reed's mistakes used to fly a lot farther while pitching with the Colorado Rockies. He's got to be happy to be back towards sea level. 2 on, 2 out, 1 and 2 on Clayton. Cardinals lead 11-10. 11 runs on 15 hits tonight for the Cardinals. The 1-2, 2-2. The only team in the division tonight to lose so far is Milwaukee. They lost at New York 3-0. Otherwise, everyone else victorious, including the Cubs, who tied the Braves with 3 in the night. 2-2 to Clayton. Do it again. Pittsburgh blew away Florida 10-4. And Houston came up with 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning to beat San Diego 4-3. Langford at second. Mabry at first, 2 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Clayton. Pretty good at bat by Royce. Choked way up on the bat, just trying to make contact.
Bat on them.
Clayton's average at .243. We had 7 total runs scored here in the first inning, and we really haven't slowed down since. 7 total scored in the 5th. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A little fly ball into shallow right center, but it'll carry. Boy, is that ball carrying. All the way out to Hamilton in right center to end the inning. The Cardinals have now left 11. They've scored 11. They've left 11. We go to the 8th. Cardinals up by 1. Welcome back on Fox Sports Midwest, part of the Fox Sports Net, as we move to the 8th inning. 3-hour, 2-minute game. With a couple of innings left. Cardinals lead 11-10. The Giants haven't quit. They keep coming after the Cardinals, and Curtis King takes over. He is the 4th pitcher of the night for the Cardinals. The Giants have used 5. And we'll have a pinch hitter, Ray Sanchez, to start the inning.
Curtis appearing for the 6th time, unscored upon, got the victory last night with a scoreless inning, and he was on quite a roll before he was called up.
And pumps a strike in to Ray Sanchez, hitting a mere .381. Had a hit in extra innings here last night. Breaking ball for strike 2. Sanchez didn't like that call.
Didn't like it. Take that kind of walk. You know, it still is a rule in the National League that you can, once you get in the batter's box, you can't leave it without permission. You really see that one being observed.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez, Hamilton, and Miller, Bonds, Kent, and Javier will all bat before the end of this one. Oh, what a good pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Okay. All right. Well, Sanchez is happy.
King on 2-2. Good pitch in on him. Sanchez fought it off. Ray trying to get on. Cardinals lead it 11-10. It's King out there now, and who knows about the 9th inning. Cardinals had to use Brantley last night. 2-2.
So I asked Dave Duncan today, I said, what do you do with Jeff Brantley? He threw last night. Do you just wait and see how he feels on every given day? He says, no, I don't even think about using him unless he were to come to me and say, hey, I feel good enough that I can pitch tonight.
To the right side, that's a fair ball. Mack will take it himself. 1 away, and the leadoff man is gone.
Center fielder,
It's kind of hard to even consider Brantley as your closer until he can pitch in back-to-back nights.
There's no doubt about that. The Cardinals need closer A and closer B. And closer B is probably Acevedo right now.
Right.
1 out, nobody on. Here's Hamilton. in at the corners as Hamilton took a ball. Darrell is 1 out of 4 tonight. Clayton to his left has it. 2 up, 2 down. King keeps pitching this way. It might be
yes, sir.
King before too long.
Yeah, and Curtis, and what he's doing, you know, is kind of nice, is just getting ahead of the count, saying here's a pitch, hit it, and then if he gets a couple strikes, you know, then he'll kind of work on attacking the guy. But he's not afraid to kind of sit there and say, here, early in the count, here, hit the ball. But he's trying to pitch ahead in the count.
2 out, nobody on for Miller. Strike 1. He likes that pitch down and in, but could not catch up to it. Strike 1. The Cardinals in the bottom of this 8th inning will have Lampkin. Then the pitcher spot, then Gant. Anybody gets on to Shields, and you know who after that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good tailing pitch, strike 2. Miller gave up on it, Al, and it jumped right back over the heart of the plate.
Yeah, it was a 90-mile-an-hour. I think it was more of a cutter. You know, he wants this ball low. Look at Lampkin. Breaking ball. Could have had it. Miller kind of gave up on that one too. The breaking ball he's throwing for strikes.
Boy, that was a good pitch.
You know what I'm saying? That's a strike.
Still 2-2 on Miller.
And Curtis got a fastball that he can run away, cut it in on a left-hander, but he can really run one away or jump right in on the hands of a right-handed batter. Watch this, some movement on this pitch away.
Still 2-2.
Kind of was straight. Had a little bit of a sinking action to it.
Two pitch, 2 out, nobody on. Full count. Bonds next. Three balls, 2 strikes on Miller. Sanchez grounded out, so did Hamilton. Stays full.
It's the beauty of hitting in front of Barry Bonds. People are going to challenge him.
Miller has taken full advantage of that, hitting .358. Miller a good at bat now, fouling off some nasty pitches from King, trying to get on base to bring Bonds up. Can't get it by him.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you sit there and you try not to go deep in the count, but then you got a little guy that has good bat control, and he'll fend off and just stay alive on your pitches and waiting for your mistake.
3-2.
Oh.
Miller on 3-2 with 2 out, nobody on. A 1-run game, 8th inning. To the shortstop Clayton. Good battle by King and a good inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Giants. Bonds will lead off in the 9th. But before that, the bottom of the 8th. Lampkin, the pitcher spot. Gant coming up. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. By Southwestern Bell. Go wireless with someone you know. And by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. Fly Southwest. Bottom of the 8th inning, and it will be Lampkin, then King.
Hey, we're at the Ritz-Carlton. You know where we're at? And they're the Cardinals club. That's the Cardinals club. The piano, it normally is a player piano, but it can be played.
Gaetti, you see the bruised left eye, so he's unavailable tonight. And King is in the on-deck circle. That's how well he's throwing the ball. They're going to stay with him, Al, in a one-run game.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he was leading the all AAAs with saves before he's recalled. Brantley's not available tonight, so go and find out how reliable Curtis King is. He's been on a roll. Go ahead and see if you can find that B closer.
I had said that there was no double switch last inning. Evidently, we missed that Sanchez had come in to play short, so Reed is batting in the spot, vacated by Eerily. Reed back out there for his second inning, and he falls behind Lampkin 2-1.
I put my head down. May made the last out and everything, and I saw Johnson come out to warm up Reed, and he had the helmet on and everything, the chest protector.
Lampkin way out in front, 2-2. It's okay, Al. I missed it too.
Thanks, Joe. You know, these 4-hour games just don't stay quite on top of things.
2-2 pitch. Still 2-2. Reed, last inning, walked 2, including 1 intentionally. That was Mabry. But he got Clayton on a fly ball to center with 2 on, 2 out to end the 7th inning. King had a 1-2-3 8th, and King will be back out there for Bonds, Kent, and Javier in the 9th.
Joe, I heard an interview with Scott Boras, your favorite agent, super agent, and he's claiming that Major League Baseball has been putting out all this erroneous information on the J.D. Drew.
Up the middle, Sanchez to his left. Good effort, got him. What a play by Ray Sanchez. That's as good as you'll ever see. And the crowd here at Busch Stadium appreciates that effort as he spun and threw a strike to Snow.
Well, that's why visiting teams love to come here, because of the knowledge of the Cardinal fans. They can appreciate the athleticism of the visiting teams, and that was outstanding. Look at how far he goes, and then under control but out of control, spinning with that body. Good thing he had that low center of gravity to make that throw and have something on it. And Lampkin wasn't taking anything for granted. He was running hard all the way.
Curtis King at the plate takes a strike.
Scott Boras said, the arbitrator said that
King pops it up behind the plate from Maine. This is not easy. 2 up.
Said that the J.D. Drew is they're going to take it to court now. And said that in effect the arbitrator upheld what they are saying, that yeah, professionals couldn't be involved in the draft, the amateur draft. Where everyone said, and thought immediately, they said, okay, because he signed a contract for the Northern League, that he either has to sign with the Phillies by midnight Tuesday night or he goes back into the draft. And they're saying, well, he's a professional. He was paid last year in the Northern League. And if that happens, that's going to destroy the June draft. Everyone will become, or top people will all go and play professional ball.
Little pop up into right. Here comes Javier. Cardinals go in order in the 8th. Curtis King back to work. It all comes down to the final 3 outs. 9th inning. It's a 1-run game. Still up. He's still rooting, and so are you. 11-10. The Cardinals lead into the 9th inning. Bonds hits one into deep center field. Langford back. He's there. 1 pitch, 1 out. And a big threat is gone here in the 9th inning. King has retired 4 in a row. Here is our Discover Card payback playback. The second home run of the night by McGwire. He and the Cardinals hope will be enough. Took it from an 8-8 game to 11-8. It's now 11-10 after a 2-run home run by J.T. Snow. And here is Jeff Kent, who is more than capable of tying this game. He's hit 4 home runs, hitting .284. Tonight, 2 out of 4, and he takes a ball. 1 out, nobody on. 11-10 Cardinals here in the 9th. King still throwing hard, 1-1.
How funny statistics can be sometimes, Joe. Here at the major league levels, right-handed batters are batting .167 against Curtis King, but yet in AAA they were batting .469.
Just low, 2-1. Kent trying to reach base for the 3rd time tonight. Down to the final 2 outs of the game, maybe. That's foul, 2-2. That's what we thought here last night at this point. Tying run was at the plate. 2 outs to get, and Bill Miller hit a game-tying pinch hit 2-run homer. But the Cardinals were able to hold off the Giants from there on and win it in 12. Tonight, it has been a marathon, 11-10. The Cardinals trying to hang on to that lead for 2 more outs. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, 3-2. Hit into left field. Kent got under it, and Gant has room. 2 out. Kent a full swing, and he's talking to himself as he heads back to the Giants dugout. Alley didn't miss that by much.
I probably dropped that right shoulder a little bit, got underneath it. Curtis King has to get the most difficult out, that 27th out. And you know, you like the thing I told you about the left-handed batters. He's been getting them out in the big leagues and in the minor leagues.
Here's Javier, switch hitter, ball 1.
Lefty's 167 average against Curtis in the big leagues and 167 in AAA.
1 ball, 1 strike. Curtis King has retired all 5 Giants hitters he has faced. 2 out, nobody on. This crowd is still so anxious. Normally they'd be making all sorts of noise. There's strike 2. I think they're a little worn out, Al. And I think they're also just hanging on every pitch. Following the game on Fox Sports News, Bulls Pacers game 3. Sabres and Caps highlights, and a look at the Indy 500 weekend. Down to our final strike here tonight, maybe. 2 out, nobody on. 1-2 on Javier. Just outside. 2-2. King made it. Put it right where he wanted.
Sure did. And Curtis was leading all AAA relievers with 11 saves at Memphis. And this is going to be his first major league save.
Got it! Curtis King retired 6 in a row. And this is a big night for the Cardinals now to hang on, keep pounding away, and then the bullpen was just good enough again. Curtis King couldn't have been better.
He was outstanding, but Mark McGwire, Langford gave a home run too. A lot of offense there, 11 runs, and it paid off. Needed every bit of it.
King retires 6 in a row to end the night, and our final score 11-10 St. Louis. Painter gets the victory. You've been watching St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. There's our next game. Rockies at Cardinals on Wednesday night. We're on the air at 6:30. Fox Sports Midwest is your regional home of Fox Sports Net. Mark McGwire hit 2 tonight. He's hit 23 on the year. And we now take you to the Fox Network Center for Fox Sports News Primetime. For Al, I'm Joe. Good night from St. Louis.